Hello, everyone. We're back. Welcome to Tyranny of Dragons. I am Mr. DM with my amazing players. Hello, amazing players.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, so we're just gonna we'll get through the announcements and then jump right into it. So, thank you everyone for your patience and understanding. Life happens to every single one of us, which was why there were no streams last week. Schedules were crazy. There will be another instance in maybe about 2 weeks of that happening again, just because again, work schedules are a little crazy. But we will definitely keep people reminded as we move forward. It's not next week, so don't worry about that. We will be streaming next week. Fingers crossed. But thank you everybody for understanding. We do appreciate it, and welcome to the session. As I said, I'm Mr. DM. With me are my amazing players. First announcement, I just want to very quickly get this out of the way. These amazing people who have allowed me to DM for them have multiple amazing projects. During the break, you will see all of the information for all of these projects. Please support all of the stuff. Please support these folks because, again, they're amazing. I get to share them with all of you, and I get to DM for them. So I am so lucky, but you need to be equally lucky to support all of the things because they're awesome people. The second announcement is we have our merch. Merch is our way of giving back to all of you. Because things have been hectic, I didn't get a chance to actually pull a picture so I can show all of you. But if you go into the merch store, there is a new t-shirt that has been made available as of this weekend, the Ghost Check t-shirt, in memoriam to our favorite half giant bartender, brewer, monk. There is a Ghost Check t-shirt, so check that out. There will be some new merch in there in the coming weeks, and we will make sure that we announce that. But yeah, again, it's our way to kind of give back to all of you. Thank you so much for all the support that you've been giving us, and you continue to give us. It does mean a lot to us. So remember, if you are a tier 1 sub, or you are a sub here on Twitch, you do automatically get discounts to your purchases. So tier 1 subs get a 5% discount, tier 2 gets 10%, and tier 3 gets 15% off. That is most likely to change in the future for more discounts, but as of right now, that's the way it looks. But again, our way to kind of give back to all of you. And last but not least, and you're about to see it anyway, we have a somewhat new-ish opening. So you'll get to see that because obviously we had to add our new character player that our wonderful Matt is playing, Vincent Hellgrave. So wanted to throw that in there and make sure that was part of it. But just changed a few things, some new music, some new backgrounds. Pretty cool. So we hope that you enjoy that as we jump into our next session of Tyranny of Dragons. All right. So weirdly enough, every time there is an update to OBS, some setting goes crazy, and I understand that the music was not going through for most of that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play it again, damn it, because everyone needs to enjoy it from the beginning, and it's my stream, so I'm gonna fucking do it. So everybody, oh, look at it! Look at all the player inspirations. Oh, this is so awesome. All right, so we're gonna play the opening one more time with all of the music and all of the coolness, and then we will get started. Thank you very much for indulging me. Okay, and we're back. And Amala has turned into a cat. So, all right. So let's do our quick update and we'll get started. So, last time we got together, the group had made their way to the capital city of Eltegard, Elturel, and made their way to the tavern, which was essentially the unofficial headquarters of the Order of the Gauntlet, led by one Anthar Froom, who you met with, had a discussion with, looking specifically for your contact, Leosin Erlenthar, who unfortunately has not made their way to the city as of yet. But in the meantime, while waiting for Leosin to arrive, you have been granted sanctuary within the city. You have also been able to, thanks to Anthar Froom, get pretty much an understanding of the city that you're in and what's going on as far as what basically what Anthar Froom is about, what the Order is about, especially here in Elturel. And you were given quarters. You were able to convince Anthar to allow you to bring the dragon eggs with you. You had an interesting evening where casting a number of different and varied spells on the eggs resulted in the eggs turning mostly into a neutral kind of white grayish color. They're still very much on top of the eggs, kind of like the black scaliness that you originally found the eggs in. And you see both. Each egg has a glowing green Warple print on it, from where he had laid his hands. Don't know what that means quite yet, but that was an interesting thing that had happened. The next morning, you partook in some training exercises with some of the individuals. One of them being Anthar's squire, Thadis, and two individuals that you had met. A gif by the name of there you go, Femin, and his partner, a gnome named Bonza. You had interesting sparring. Your group did fairly well against them, but not for lack of trying. There was a lot of trash talk during the fights, but it was all done in fun. And you also found later on, while having some breakfast, that Vasily, the owner of a pair of Black Antlers, the tavern that you came to, was going to be holding some fights sometime in the mid afternoon, midday time. A few of you had put in for the fights. It was a little strange. It was kind of like an auction, putting in as much gold as more than anyone else to actually have the privilege of fighting these three champions of these fights. And you saw that everyone was very, very excited about these fights. You heard some talk about that the fights don't happen often, but when they do, they're very well attended and people have a lot of fun. And the three of you decided to kind of get into that fun. And Basha, Vincent, and Amala had put in the most amount of gold on the lists to fight these said champions. And you also had asked Anthar a little bit about possibly resupplying while you were here as well. So currently, at this moment, you have just finished signing up for these fights. The crowd here in the tavern has begun to kind of move away from the board. Seemingly, no one else has enough gold to kind of throw in to surpass your bets, as it were, your entry fee, if you will. And at this point in time, Vasily, the owner, the large dragonborn, comes out from behind the bar, kind of looks up at the board with that, of the post that he just put up. Just kind of nods a little, kind of sees your group and kind of walks over as you're kind of munching on some breakfast foods. As he kind of walks over, oh wow, just got here and automatically want to start some fights. It's good. It's good. I like it a lot.
I mean, wouldn't you join in, Vasily, if you were new to town and saw the fights?
No, I just run the fights. I'm the guy who finds the talent. I'm the guy that promotes it. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I mean, like in your younger years, though.
Oh yeah. No, I loved fighting when I was younger. Yeah. Not. Yeah, these days, yeah, the occasional scrap, but it's more for fun than anything else. So, all right. So good. We'll be doing it. You got a few hours before the fights, so you got plenty of time. Just make sure you get here at least half an hour before we start. We're looking at, and he kind of like looks out one of the windows. You probably got about 5 hours before we start. So, give or take, get here about 4. You got about 4.5 hours to get here before the fights start. So we'll have Emilio will be here. He's the one who takes the bets and all of that good stuff. So just enjoy yourselves. Froome was telling me that you probably need a place to kind of like resupply, get some stuff. Got coin burning a hole in your pouches, as it were. All right.
Yep.
All right.
I've put forward every coin I have.
I can get you something if you need it. I can help.
Don't worry, Vince. We'll take care of you. We've been dealing with likely what you may have overheard or not, but we definitely are in kind of a desperate need to resupply on potions. And if there's any oddities or magical equipment that could be purchased, I know it's very rare, but this kind of seems like a place. I know there's a lot of ruins around here, so there might be people who are bringing back stuff that they could have scavenged or found, willing to sell.
He kind of scratches at the bottom of his chin, scratching some of his scales. Froom looks like he's taking a liking to all of you. So, yeah, there's a place. Kale's Curiosities. It's probably the place you want to take a look at. It's in the market. It's in the market square. It's not going to be difficult to find. But let Kale know that Vasily sent you. Yeah, you'll get some kind of deal.
Oh, thank you, Vasily. We appreciate it.
No problem. Did you need anything else? I mean, are you looking for like just general supplies or armor, weapons, something, anything of that nature?
I think we're we've got some coin, but it's not limitless. I think we're looking to see like what's out there and just see if it's something that fits our need and our budget.
Gotcha. Well, if you need like repairs or anything done on any of your armor or whatever, you definitely want to go to Nerves of Steel. Two brothers that run that place. Excellent work. Like, just beautiful stuff. I mean, and he just kind of like motions to most of the patrons in here who are either wearing like chainmail or plate or scale. Like most of these folks are wearing something from Nerves of Steel.
Listen, I understand Nerves of Steel. You got to support local business, but have you ever heard of Gristleborn? He makes the finest armor equipment, and I gesture to my armor and I do my fucking sell ad that I promised because I'm a corporate shill.
Yeah. he looks like, no one ever heard of Gristleborn, but yeah, that's what is that? Is that Grick?
It's a Grick hide studded with green dragon scales.
That's nice. And he just kind of starts like very much like running the back of his hand along the armor. That's very good quality there.
Yeah, he only works in exotic equipment and materials. And I kind of gesture to actually no, I don't know if you Matt, do you have the rapier in a beard right now, or is it disappeared?
It's at my side.
And he made this, and I gesture to the Sturge King rapier out of a King Sturge's proboscis.
Oh wow! Now he's like you've like got his attention. He's really looking at it. He's like, well, I'll tell you this. I mean, you're not gonna find something like this at Nerves of Steel. They do your basic stuff. It's not this looks like high quality enchantment and magical armor and weapons. That's not what they do. They do the basic stuff, but again, even with the basics, high quality stuff. But Gristleborn, you say? That's I'll keep that in mind. I've never heard the name, but I like what I see.
It's out of Phandalin.
Oh, that's way up north.
That's where we came from, honestly. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if I'm ever in the area, I'll keep it in mind. I don't do much traveling.
I understand that, but it might be useful for our friends, as there's a retired member, Edermath, who's out there with an orchard. So if people visited, he might not be the worst for it.
Make a persuasion check for me, Gorple.
I got a 6.
A 6. He just kind of nods. He goes, "Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, if I ever make my way up north, I'll definitely keep it in mind. But yeah, just the twins run the forge there, and they do an excellent job. But if you're looking for like general supplies, you definitely want to go down to the marching room. Woman by the name of Sarvin Burrowhorn. She kind of runs the place. You can get your basic supplies. You can get rations, water skins. If you need tents, things of that nature. She'll get you hooked up.
What's her name? Sarvin
Burrowhorn. hell of a woman.
I'm gonna do insight when he says that, like looking at, kind of at Himala and looking at him to be like, what kind of hell of woman? Like, you know, like
yeah, make an insight check. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm rolling that check.
that's an 18.
18. Anybody else? Drovar?
Far less.
Way.
Way less.
Okay.
I can't read Dragonborn. They just not enough facial
Okay.
muscles.
With an 18, Basha, you get the sense like, you know, there's like a little like twinkle in his eye when he says that,
Okay.
and you kind of get the impression that, you know, he's probably got a thing for this woman. Doesn't seem like it's like mutual as far as you can tell. You'd probably have to meet her to find out, but
That's the plan. I'm gonna do some spying on Himala's behalf. Basha has a plan. It's fine.
But as far as you can tell, like he definitely has a thing for this woman that he's talking about.
Vasily's also 80 years old.
I mean, that's fair. I thought you said you were going for the silver scales. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine.
That's just like a bunch of years of experience, man.
Yeah, right? Come on.
Don't judge him.
So he goes, all right, so yeah, just get here before their fights, and we'll get you all squared away. But yeah, you got some time, so I mean, you want to just sit here for a while, that's fine. But you know,
No,
I really want to get all that stuff out of the way. Fights might take a while.
yeah, I think we should probably resupply, and we don't know where we're going next, so I don't think it's smart to like buy a wagon or horses or anything. But we can at least get geared up in case, because I don't know, they might teleport us. I don't know how this works.
Trouble has a way of just showing up in front of us, so we better be ready.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I did promise our host a conversation.
You can. Oh no, we'll wait for that. If you wanna.
I also have a conversation with him too, so
Do you
whatever.
Do you need support, backup, company, or you want to have this alone?
I frankly could care less.
I mean, I think my conversation wouldn't be too bad for all of us to be there for, because it's going to probably involve the hunter's livery, and so it might involve Bojack.
I am gonna do an insight check on Vincent when he said I could care less. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So Drovar,
A
roll me.
whopping 10.
Yeah. Okay. What is? You can roll me either deception, or yeah, I'll say persuasion or perception. Your choice. Don't tell me which one. Roll that.
16?
60. Yeah. It doesn't seem like he cares, Drovar.
Okay.
Okay. So Vasily's like, yeah, Frum's still outside. They're gonna be, you know, they're still doing their drills back there. So yeah, if you want to go talk to him, he's still in the back. I'll see you all later for the fights.
Yeah.
See you, Vasily.
All
Do you take care of the bookie stuff at the end?
No, that's my partner Emilio. He'll be here before the fights.
Definitely talk with him.
Oh yeah. That's why I said get here before the fights start. You wanna make sure that you get your bets in, get the good odds, you know, that kind of thing.
Vasily, before we head out, though, can you tell me anything about that red dragonborn?
He kind of smirks. I'll let you find out when you meet him.
Oh boy.
I do like surprises.
Oh, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'm definitely gonna dig around as everyone's like talking to Froome and everything. I'm gonna like see what I can hear about this dude.
Sure. Okay. All right. So Vasily kind of nods to all of you and then makes his way back to the bar, and he just starts chatting up people as he's going. Everybody seems to love him, and just every person that he talks with, he's kind of always slapping them on the back, joking around, laughing, and everybody seems to he's definitely held in a very high regard. But yeah, Othar Froome is he's still outside in the back with the training exercise, so you can all make your way back there if you like. And you can see that it's starting to wind down just a little bit, but not much. There's still a few folks, kind of being taught certain forms and certain strikes. These seem to be probably folks that are either newer to the group, or they just need, looking to do a little extra training. Anthar, you see the group kind of emerge from the bar, very much making their way towards you.
As I see them coming, seeing things kind of winding down, Anthar takes out his hammer, which looks very formidable, and he kind of taps it against this metal plate that's set up kind of near a stage area, clearly where he demonstrates or, pontificates from. And he bangs it a few times, and clearly the other members of the Order of the Gauntlet hear it, and they all kind of gather close to the stage area. And he goes, "Well, everyone, you've done well today. I like what I'm seeing out of you, Fimin. Your footwork's getting a lot better.
Thank you.
But we have ways to go. And you know how I always like to leave you with a little something before we go about our daily duties. Today I want to talk about faith. It is the first of our ideals in the Order of the Gauntlet. Squire, can you tell us what that ideal is?"
Thothus wasn't paying attention very much.
Yeah.
Oh yes, faith. It is faith in not only the gods that we believe in, but faith in each other, and faith that we can protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Very good, very good. And, they're easy words to say, but they can be harder to live by. Faith is our greatest weapon against evil, and whether that faith is in a deity, your friends, and hopefully yourself, part of the Order of the Gauntlet is we strive, we train, so that we can make the world a little bit better than it was the day before. And that's the faith I want you all to think on. I want you to believe that through these actions, through your training, when you're gone, when you've done your tasks, the world will be better for it. And I want you to have faith and then believe in the change in the world that you can make. All right, now everyone's got jobs to do. I know a few of you are going out on patrol, so stay true to yourselves, and I'll see you when you come back.
They all kind of very much give a nod of acknowledgement. A number of them kind of clasp their fists to their armor and kind of slightly bow towards you, and the group begins to disperse.
Cool.
The rest of you can see Anthar kind of coming down from the stage, finishing up, and he is ready. He seems to be ready and willing to speak with you.
How was breakfast?
It was delicious.
Very good.
Good. Well, I got a little bit of cleaning up to do before I get to it. Anything you need from me? And, I pick up a practice sword and, readjust a target, that kind of stuff.
I believe I promised you a conversation.
That you did, boy, and I'm glad to see you making good on those promises. I'll be free in just a moment. Would you prefer that to be a bit of a one-on-one?
I'm fine either way.
Okay. So as Anthar's kind of picking up a little bit, you do see about half a dozen folks who are similarly picking up and cleaning and kind of straightening up the training area. Amala, if you wanted to go talk with some of those folks about the person that you're going to have a fight with later on, you feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'll go help them clean up and ask some questions while Vincent has his talk.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me, Amala.
That's only a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you start making some, just kind of like banter with some of these folks. They seem more intent on the work that they're doing than actually chit-chatting with you. They're not being rude by any means, but they, as you're kind of like talking with them, like, that guy, and they're just more intent on what they're doing. The one thing you are able to pick up, one of the individuals that it just seems to be probably about Thoth's age, very young, probably like mid to late teens. Just kind of like looks at you, goes, "Yeah, that guy, Kira. To look at him, you wouldn't think he's such a badass. But yeah, I was completely shocked the first time I saw him fight." And then he kind of looks, and Froome's just kind of like staring at him. He's like, oh. And he just kind of like completely stops talking to you and gets back to work. But that's pretty much all you kind of pick up during that investigation. But Vincent, you are free to have your conversation. The rest of the group is around.
Okay. Drovar is actually gonna, it's like, I'm gonna stretch my legs for a little bit. I'll be back, when it's time to go shopping.
Are you gonna go back in the bar?
No, I'm gonna go find that Lord's Alliance enclave.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right. So easy enough because there is the map inside of the boarding house.
Yeah, I picked out the location.
Yeah. So you're able to find that. We'll get to that in a minute. Rest of you, anybody else before Vincent gets into his conversation? Okay.
Here, I got a pitcher of wine. I don't know if you drink this early in the morning, but let's go over here. And that same stage that he was talking on before, he kind of pulls up a crate and like a little side table, and it's got a pitcher on it and a couple of glasses. He doesn't seem to dismiss anyone. Anyone seems to be welcome to join.
Now
Oh.
then.
Sorry.
Oh, you first.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna hover in the back, but like not like too close, but not like too far away either, in case I need to, I don't know, intervene or something. But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna kind of sit back.
Now then. I would like you to understand that I don't know you, and therefore I'm not going to bare my soul to you or anything like that.
I wouldn't expect you to, boy.
You are offering us shelter, so the least I can do is be honest.
Do you mind if I cast a spell to that effect? It would make me comfortable, and if honesty is the trade in which we're talking, it certainly would ensure that. But I think Matt is not here.
Oh yeah, he froze. Oh no.
No.
And we lost him.
Ah!
Oh no. There we go. We got it back.
There we go.
Hey, buddy.
Sorry about that. Blacked out for a second.
That's why you don't chug the wine.
Yeah, Vincent was just kind of staring at you, and then you realized he was staring past you and not really paying attention.
I asked a question. I said, Vincent, do you mind if I cast a spell in the sake of honesty? If that is the trade we're going to be, bartering with right now, it would make me feel better, and if you're going to tell the truth, should be no harm.
You can cast the spell if it'll make you feel better, but...
Excellent. And he kind of holds up his gauntlet and kind of clenches a fist, and there's like the clang of metal on metal is a little louder than maybe it normally would be. And he goes, "By the honor of Torm, let no lies be told." And as he clangs, anyone within 15 feet of Anthar is going to need to make me a saving throw. You can choose to fail this.
Yeah,
I
you
cast
can. Yeah.
Zone of
Charisma,
Okay.
wisdom.
Listen.
It's a Zone of Truth. You need to make a Charisma saving throw.
Now you can
Oh,
you can decide to fail it if you have no problem doing this. But if you fail it, he will. If you pass the check, he will know. Like it's not. It won't be a secret.
I got a 13 on that.
That will fail.
yeah, I got a 3. I failed real hard.
Okay.
Cool. Your
Dirt.
DC is 18, by the way.
Dirty 20.
Great. Yeah. You are not affected by a zone of truth.
I choose to fail.
Great. And if you fail the save, you cannot speak a deliberate lie. You can, be janky and kind of talk your way in circles, but you can't speak a deliberate lie. Except, of course, if you pass the save, then you can do whatever you want.
I'm going to kind of like twitch my neck as it's cast. Now then, I said you can cast it if it makes you feel better, but I feel more comfortable telling the truth without somebody's boot on my neck.
Anthar kind of looks left and right. No boot, friend. Think of it more of like if you lie, there's a red light. If you speak the truth, there's a green light. No harm, no threats. But let's move on. Vincent, I'm glad that your people have found your stay here, but it doesn't seem like your folks seem weary around you.
I was part of the cult that they're fighting.
Interesting. And where are your allegiances now?
I'm going to kill Tiamat.
That doesn't exactly answer my question, but I think I understand your motivation.
You see, I told them this already. The funny thing about being raised in a cult is they don't tell you that they're trying to turn you into a supervillain. They tell you that your god is the just god, and it's always those others. They're the evil ones. Of course, you go with them to raise your first village, and you realize which side you're really on.
I mean, I'm sure the screams of "please stop, no" pretty much get louder and louder as time goes on. But I've dealt with the Cult of the Dragon before. Well, me and Leosin. This is years ago, and at that time they weren't a big deal, or at least we foolishly thought as such. They were trying to raise dragons from the dead. Thankfully, we got wind of their plan and stopped them before they were able. But, Vincent, can I ask, you said you were raised by them. How long were you with the cult?
That's a good question. They didn't exactly throw me birthday parties.
I mean, do you have an idea of how many seasons?
Probably in the 20s.
The first time you said you were part of the cult, Anthar seemed like, oh, surprised, but not big reaction. When you said you were there for 20 seasons, Anthar's his eyebrows go high. That's a lifetime, boyo.
Yes. No shit.
I'm not here to tell you anything you don't already know, but if you were there for 20-some seasons, and now you're here, what was the catalyst? Why the change?
Well, after 20 seasons of keeping me locked up and teaching me and training me and making sure I was the best little servant of Tiamat I could be, they sent me on my first raid. It was a town called Greenest. Well, it only takes one to realize you're on the wrong side. I point to the group whoever's with me in the group. I saw the lot of them doing things that I was told wasn't possible, like actively beat up a dragon, and figured that's where I wanted to be. Everything after that was kind of a mess. Not necessary to get into.
No, no, I think I understand. You saw, your whole life. I imagine dragons were put on a pedestal as masters and beings of power, and then you saw ordinary, and Anthar kind of like, does a wiggle of his shoulders, like, mostly normal people stand up against something you thought were beyond reproach. Well, if your realization after seeing that was to defect, I think that works in your favor, in my opinion. If most people who were raised in a cult like that might not have that same insight. So I think that means you got good instincts at the very least.
I can relate because my people are bad generally. They're slavers and they do horrible things, and I was raised in that society and I chose differently. So seeing Vincent, I felt a kindred spirit.
Well, did your people like you?
Yeah, I was a warrior. I was supposed to do it. I just didn't like what they were doing. They were putting things in cages.
Well, Vincent, you said you want to kill Tiamat, and I'm gonna say, boy, manage your expectations is my first bit of advice. But there's killing a god. It's happened before. Time of troubles. Read your history. It certainly happened, but there are real people who are hurting because of this cult, and you're, I don't know. I don't know what your goals are, Vincent, but if you want to stop Tiamat and ultimately fight back against this cult, there's much more immediate things you can do to work against them.
Oh, my goal is to kill everyone in that cult, kill Tiamat, steal Tiamat's power, and make sure no god can ever tell me what to do again.
You realize you can't just, well, I am a man of faith, and I've never thought of stealing a god's power. I've never been so bold. But
DM,
Mhm.
while he's talking, would I be able to just like use a cantrip? I imagine he has some sort of divine sense and would be able to tell where my stolen power is coming from if I like used a cantrip and just made lightning crackle in my hand or something.
Yeah, if you want to do, if you can absolutely do that. So what exactly, what cantrip are you going to use?
I'm gonna switch between Acid Splash, Firebolt, Lightning Lure, Poison Spray, and Ray of Frost, just kind of letting them all fizzle in my hand to show the like multiple elements I'm stealing.
Okay.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah. And Anthar,
Skittles.
yeah, and Anthar, you, as he's doing this, you do get what he's trying to kind of put down for you. He's displaying all of the different chromatic elements from chromatic dragons in his hand.
right on. I kind of stop with like whatever trail of thought I see this, and I seem to focus on it, and I go, listen, Vincent, I'm glad that you're no longer with those people, and I'm glad that you want to fight back against them, but killing all of these people, taking Tiamat's throne, I hope you realize that's what the cult wants from you. That is the action of a tyrant. To kill everyone who opposes you and sit on the throne that they used to sit on, that is Tiamat's teachings in a nutshell. Yes, there's more dragon sort of ideology in there, but what you're saying, most folk would see that as the makings of a megalomaniac. Certainly not a good person, Vincent.
I never said I was good. I'm just trying not to be bad. There's a
You're not.
big difference.
I suppose I hang around with a lot of very law and order type folks, and those divides get a lot more black and white than gray. And I'm glad to hear you want to fight against evil, but something we teach in the Order of the Gauntlet is you fight monsters, don't become a monster. When you kill a tribe of orcs that is, raiding and massacring a group of people, if you then go and meet every orc and assume they are just as evil, you're perpetuating a problem. And Vincent, I sense deep faith from you. I think that you believe your path is righteous and correct. Trust me, I'm a paladin. I know these things when I see them. I am concerned, though, that this righteousness has blinded you from other possibilities. If you, someone raised in the cult, saw the evils of this cult and walked away from it, and maybe it wasn't so cut and dry, but you walked away, there might be other people like you within that cult. There might be other Vincents out there.
So what, I should just clench my fist and force them all to tell the truth?
I mean, it's a spell, I'm not saying you should use that gift. What I'm saying is, give people a chance. Discriminately killing everyone who bears the mark of the tyrant or bears the mark of Tiamat, don't get me wrong. Most of the time, you're probably making the right call. But Vincent, you made a different choice. Other people might too. Keep that in mind.
I mean, yeah, we were going to slit your throat when you were drunk on the floor, and then Bocek convinced us not to.
Yeah, so I was drunk, but I wasn't high yet, and that changed before I even got the chance to explain myself, as I distinctly remember a frog touching my face.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely poisoned you with my skin. But the point is, that was so we could get information, but you were too drunk, and then you were too high, and then we're like, well, we don't want this person waking up and following us, so I guess we should just slit his throat. And then Bocek, our friend, convinced us to let you go and not do that, and said you were no threat. And I don't know, I think it resonates a little bit with Froom's point.
Well, there's a huge difference between people who were dragged into the cult kicking and screaming as children and people who joined willingly.
Vincent, that's the problem. There isn't. You are making these divides. You are making these categories. Everyone chooses. I choose to be in this place and work for the Order of the Gauntlet to make things better. Do I always succeed? Probably not. But I try. And yes, some people may have been dragged into the cult kicking and screaming. Some people chose to be there. But these are all choices. And to deny people choice, that's the worst kind of tyranny at all.
So it's okay to explode a cave full of people who chose to be part of the cult, but not ones that didn't.
If people chose to be part of a cult that is destructive and harmful to others, barring you can use your own methods, I suppose, but stopping those who would harm others, I don't really have a problem with that.
Perfect. I'm justified in all of my actions from this point forward. Thank you, Paladin.
I am not your barometer for what is right and wrong, Vincent. I am a man. I am fallible, just like everyone else. Trust me, I've made the wrong call before. And I live with that choice. And it taught me to make better choices. And I don't know, Vincent. It seems like these people hurt you. Mentally, physically, maybe.
And I'm going to hurt them back. It's tit for tat, eye for eye.
Althar, holds up a gauntlet in hand, hold on, buddy, hold on. But it's a cycle of violence. It's a cycle of pain. And I'm not saying that you should just forgive them and forget and move on. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is this cycle never ends, Vincent. They
Does
hurt
if you don't leave survivors. Cycle's over if there's no one there to seek revenge.
And then you're just putting more blood and hurt into the world.
And then I pick up a hobby.
You know, it might seem easy in thought, the idea of destroying these people, but when you have to look into their faces, and if you're saying you want to kill all of them, fine, but what about their children? What about their aunts, their uncles, their loved ones? When does it stop, Vincent?
It stops with the ones that join the cult. I don't understand what's so hard to... Like, are their uncles going to join the cult?
What I'm saying is let's say you kill a man and he's got 3 brothers. Now, he may have joined the cult, but that's still their brother. They find out that you killed him, then 3 more men now want your head. And let's say you kill them. Well, those uncles had wives who had sisters or brothers of their own, and now they want your head. What I'm saying is, Vincent, there are people who need to be removed from the world so that it can become better, but you need to use your judgment. Every time that I have acted out of fear, out of hatred, out of anger, was the wrong choice. Every time I acted with compassion, every time I considered the impact of my actions, it became a better scenario. Things were better for it. And Vincent, I can't tell you what the right thing is here. I imagine you'll be gone before a week's time, and when you're back out there, it's the only people that will judge you is yourself and Anthar kind of gestures at the few of your friends that stand with you. That's it. I hope that you will be considerate, compassionate, even perhaps kind. And this comes from a man who has fought in at least 2 wars and killed dozens, hundreds. And there's a moment where Anthar, where Froome kind of looks off in the distance, and you can see some real pain and maybe regret kind of there. And I'll tell you, if I could have made this world better with words, with edicts, I don't know. If there was a better tool at my disposal than that hammer, and he kind of looks at the hammer that's next to him, I would have used it. After having used this hammer for over a century, I would have used those tools before this one. But this is the world we live in, Vincent. And I'm not saying that you need to act according to my thoughts or my ideals, but making the world better doesn't need to be just through violence.
There are people who I fully believe can make the world better through other means. People who can figure out the right things to say and how to fix things through talking, but I'll be honest, last problem I tried to fix through talking ended in a man cutting his own throat. Well, we were leaving the cave and I kind of convinced him to, but I tried to solve the problem through talking.
Well, that doesn't mean every scenario is going to end that way. And I do commend your effort for what that's worth to you, but...
Oh, no, the talking was to get information out of him and inevitably convince him to kill himself.
Right. Anthar looks visibly uncomfortable.
I did solve it through talking, though.
Sure. Sure. Right. Well, yeah, that's sort of kind of what I'm saying. I guess, Vincent, it seems like you have this all mapped out, and I guess what I'm saying is the road is not as clear as you might think. And the more time you consider it and you act upon your goals with compassion, the better you will be. The more you will distance yourself from the cult, that's for sure. Those that worship Tiamat, they don't believe in kindness. They don't believe in compassion or fairness. And the more you act against those things, the more you're like the people that raised you.
I'd just like to add, I think we're looking at this a little wrong, because I think Vincent doesn't have the experience to make those judgments you're asking to him. Like you said, he was raised by the cult. This is one of his first times ever in a city.
Actually, like my first time in a city that I was allowed to walk around without people. Where I was allowed to walk around.
But the point is, Vincent, you don't have the breadth of experience of someone who grew up in a normalized society, or at least humanoid society. Trust me, it took me really hard when I was in Port Damale. It was super hard. Or no, Port Nazar, I forget what it is, but it's like an N one. Anyway, point is, I had to learn how to be around humans who hated me. It was really weird, but I learned. But it was a hard immersion, and I don't know. It's hard to ask, Vincent, for you to immediately change and make all of those considerations without at least experiencing the breadth of culture and just normal society, so that you can have the opposite side of that scale.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier about your instincts, Vincent. You heard someone cry out in pain, and again, I don't know exactly what it was that changed it, but you had a moment of empathy. You had a moment of, hey, that person's in pain. I don't like that.
Well,
and that's... Oh, go ahead.
I was allowed to read a lot of books. They, of course, took away a lot of them because anti-Tiamat propaganda, they called it. But I was allowed to read a lot of books, and, well, it's not so much that there was a cry out in pain, it's just, well, the situation that I saw definitely painted us as the bad guys. Like, any storybook that you read, you could tell who's the bad guys, and it became very obvious. It's like, is that why half our soldiers wear skulls on their belts?
I mean, sometimes it's an aesthetic choice. I have seen it done before, but yes, I can see what you mean.
Generally, those wearing skulls, it's a pretty good indicator. So, definitely a good indicator. Well, Vincent, I'm glad that you came to me, and I feel like I understand you better.
There's more to it, but I think that's enough to warrant me being allowed to stay here longer.
I mean, Vincent, you were already allowed to stay here. If you'll notice, I accepted you into my doors without this conversation. So I appreciate that you took the time to have it with me. I really do. It speaks to your character, to your instincts, that you thought it necessary for someone who had shown you kindness to show them kindness in turn. So thank you for the conversation, friend. And I hope that you may not have many friends because of the cult besides these people here, but I hope you can count me amongst them. And Froome will put out a gauntleted hand.
Vincent reaches out a rather skinny, bony, long-fingered hand and takes yours.
Yeah.
And as his hand...
Oh, we lost you.
You're cut out,
We cut
Matt.
out.
As his hand.
As he reaches out, Seri, his little black cat, runs down his arm and starts running up your arm to your shoulder.
Oh, hello. Hi. Okay. Well, looks like... It looks like you have more friends than I realized. And Froome will kind of shake your hand and give it a squeeze, nothing harmful or, macho. And he goes, just remember, there are people in the world, Vincent, who care about you. And I care about what happens to your soul. Because if you go down this path of murder and triumph and destroying Tiamat, you might not be welcomed into the heavenly gates, if you know what I mean.
I mean no disrespect, but I refuse to let another god tell me what I can and can't do, and where I can and can't go. That's been my whole life.
We don't need to get into all the bases of faith, and I can tell your friends have things to do, but the gods don't tell you what to do. That's not their job. They speak through people. People take their teachings and act upon their teachings. I think people in Tiamat's name have done these things to you, and don't be wrong, Tiamat's not good. That lady is terrible. Maybe the worst of them. I don't know, Orcus pretty bad. Tiamat's up there though. But
Amala begins
not-
flipping off the air.
Yep, just like...
But it's not the gods who command your actions, but they do judge your soul. So your actions and choices are your own, and I hope you at least keep that in mind.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome, and you're still as welcome as you were when you first arrived.
Fantastic.
The
Also,
cat-
you need to eat more. You're so fucking skinny.
Yes, I will start making like good homemade food. Like I'm gonna start making like carrot salad, lots of salatki. We're going to feed you up.
I'd like to use Mask of Many Faces to try to thicken myself out a bit.
Stop that! Stop that!
Yeah, he just watches as he now he looks a little more filled out. Like, looks better. Froome, the little black cat on your shoulder, just kind of begins nuzzling your beard and kind of like kneading it a little bit.
Okay. And Froome doesn't look uncomfortable, but he definitely doesn't seem like he's a cat person. And he's like, all right, little buddy. Okay, we're just gonna... Oh, you're attached. Okay.
Meow.
And after a little bit of untangling of beard and cat, he puts the cat back down.
Okay.
Um,
Warple,
Well-
you are free at this point, as you see this conversation winding down to talk with Froome. If you,
I kind of look, as Vincent finishes. I know we wanted to speak? Is it a private thing, or do we just?
it doesn't have to be. Is everyone here familiar with your friend and what happened?
Vincent is like least familiar, but I think we've kind of told him along the way.
Okay. I reach into Froome reaches into a pouch and hands you back your broken up pendant, and for a moment he kind of takes a breath, seems to center himself. Listen, Gorple, I did pray on your pendant. Torm allowed me to look inside of it, I want to say, or at least reveal to me where Bocek is, or Bocek's soul. I don't have great news in that regard. I saw a jungle teeming with life, and then a strange corruption had affected it. And Torm sort of guided my vision into this corrupted part of this jungle. And it almost was like a temple. I don't have all the details. Again, it happened very quickly, but I saw a man chained and screaming, and he did not look well. And before I could investigate, or before Torm could reveal any more, a voice that was dark and powerful told me to be gone and banished me from that place. If I had to guess, I think your friend's soul is trapped.
We entered. Well, we tried to enter the gem, but only my friends could a while ago. Only a few days, honestly, at this point. But they went in and saw this turmoil and saw this ziggurat you described and this dark swamp and this corruption and this horrible storm. And while that was happening, this cloaked figure appeared. What was it? Peace? Was he called himself, or Warden?
The word that you got from him was peace. You asked him what he was, and he said peace.
He created a fog that you see kind of, and he appeared to me in person and warned us to stop and asked us to stop. And then I shot him in the face with an arrow, and it hurt him a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. And it was like he was trying to force my friends out, and they got out luckily, because apparently when you go in the gem, your soul goes there. But now it's broken and leaking. So like the magic in the gem is going, and so I want to free Bocek to at least get his soul to a resting place, because the reason why he's there is when we were fighting the cult before we met Vincent officially, we were trying to, Bocek was reforming in that Cult of the Dragon place. I guess he has a girlfriend who's a goddess. It's a long story. Anyway, she was like giving him a second chance or something. And as his soul and body were kind of reforming, it's like the gates of hell themselves ripped open. It was like this fire and lava dripping, and a draconic claw reached through to snatch his soul and greedily said, "That's mine." And in that moment, all of us, I obviously minus Vincent, we did our best to try to interfere, jump in the way, use, Amala's divine nature, Bosch's magic, even Drovar's like ancestors. But I knew that my gem, and I kind of gestured to Teague, who I imagine has joined us because we're outside. So I summoned him from the gem, and so I kind of figured that these are like spirits of Cholt and animals inside this gem. And so I figured if something could hold a soul, it would be this gem. And so as like a last-ditch effort, I tried to throw the gem at Bocek's soul right before the claw closed on it. And when it landed, after a huge explosion of light, my gem was cracked. And we took that time to try to reconfirm, and that's when we found this stuff out. And so my ultimate goal, at least now, is before the magic runs out or before whatever happens, is to free Bocek and honestly maybe defeat this peace guy, because it just seems bad. This gem, it takes souls, and that seems wrong and like really, really bad.
Anything that keeps its soul from its final resting place, Gwarple, definitively bad.
Well, my tribe like used this gem, and like, it was like an ancient relic amongst my people, like passed to the kings, and I stole it before I left.
Gwarple!
I needed stuff so that I could survive in Chol as a person everyone hates. And also, I didn't like them, and they probably didn't need it. I know. Anyway, they were keeping all these things trapped. So
this was before he got his order thingy, too, just so you know.
We all make choices, and we have to live with those choices. If you felt like it was the right thing at the time...
I still feel like it's the right thing. And I say that completely in the zone of truth.
I doubt... Listen, I have problems with theft myself, but if the point is you want to go in there, honestly, free Bocek and defeat or destroy this peace thing, it's probably going to take a powerful wizard powerful priest? You mean speaking with souls and they're kind of moving around? Wizards and priests both kind of deal with it.
Well,
I merely got a vision. I doubt I could do more.
I got my friends in there, and I recently successfully got in and out. We might be able to go in, and I did a ritual also. My people, we do a lot of different things with herbs and mixing of our natural poisons that make people hallucinate. But maybe someone, you're super connected to Torm, and Torm loves justice and stuff, and maybe he could help out. I don't know how this works. I don't really believe in the gods.
First off, that's kind of a shame, but we're gonna move past it. Torm certainly believes that anyone who dies in battle deserves their final rest, wherever that may be. Whether it's in Torm's halls or their god of their choice. Torm believes those who fought for something, a cause, deserve justice, even death or life. If you want to talk about, I'm not sure what I can do to help. I mean, I'm a warrior for Torm. I live my life as best I can under his teachings, but I am a priest is one who would be much more, I don't know, educated on the passage of souls through different places. There are a few gods that deal with the dead and souls of the dead going where they ought to go. Maybe a priest of Kelemvor might be able to help you.
I mean, he did die in battle, and we also did learn that it's something like a soul gem. Apparently, Basha heard about it through necromancy stuff.
Yes, not great.
So, I just want to free him, and I honestly think this thing needs to be destroyed. I just don't know how.
You're probably correct, Corporal. This thing is probably best no longer in use after you can free your friend, but I would suggest a powerful wizard or a powerful priest. I would, however, caution against going in there again. I mean, you do what you have to do, but if the magic of this thing is leaking, it's fading, it might get harder to get in and out of it.
I mean, it's also tainting my friend, and I kind of point to the spots on Teague. He's got a little bit of the sickness, and I don't want that to progress.
I mean, I have ways of removing corruption from creatures, certainly living creatures. This magica, this soul gem of sorts, I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, maybe if we're spending time here, maybe you could help us try to figure it out. It could be something to do while we're waiting for Leosin. You might be able to, I have Lightbringer, and I want to turn it into you. But if you think the Priest of Lathander might be more useful for helping with this specific thing, it might go a long way to securing them.
Well, again, Corporal, that's your choice. I prayed on it with Torm once. I can pray on it again and, guide my prayers in a different direction, and perhaps there could be a different result. But like I said, Torm breeds warriors, not scholars, and I know of, these things, and I have some cursory knowledge, but for a deep dive on how to free souls and the magical workings of a soul gem that's been fractured, I could not help in that regard.
Well, I think it's a good consideration, and it might be something worth doing, because it would definitely get a weight off of many of us before we move on. I think it might clear us of a bit of a burden that is weighing us down spiritually.
I mean, if we figure out a way to enter the gem, I'll do what I can to help. But right now, I think we have to have faith and look to allies and help from others.
Well, maybe I'll check out some of the temples in the area, and they might be able to give a better idea.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything else? Because I do have a meeting. It should be short, but I do have to attend.
I think we're gonna go shopping once Strovar gets back. I know he's running an errand or something.
Okay.
So Froome, you kind of excuse yourself, and the rest of you are able to go about your business and have a few more drinks, have a little more food. While Drovar, you have made your way into the town square, where on the map you saw there was specifically a Lord's Alliance enclave.
Right.
And you can see now that this is a bustling city. Like, there are not just, since you arrived in town, you've seen mostly like armored paladins and guards and fighters, and now you can see, no, this is an actual city of regular people.
Right, because we arrived at like nighttime, even though it was bright light out, it's still everyone was asleep.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, it's not just armor around here. Okay.
Yeah. You see families walking through the streets. People pushing carts, going about their daily business. All of the shops are open, and you do find very quickly the Lord's Alliance Enclave, which on the map seemed very small, and now you realize, actually finding it, that it is very small. As you approach it, it seems to be kind of a hole in the wall. It's between these two large buildings, and it absolutely has the placard of the Lord's Alliance out front. But the door, there is maybe like 2 inches on either side of the door before the actual small hut, if you will, ends. It does seem like it's two stories high, but it is very thin. And as you walk in, it's essentially like one of those small houses that you see online all the time. That you kind of like walk in and like your head is almost touching the ceiling, and you could literally touch both sides of the walls. It's one of those places. But it is the building itself. The facade of the building is stone. But as you walk in, it is a very warm, like wood interior, and you're immediately hit with the smell of like wood oil. You're not sure exactly which woods, but it seems like a mixture of different woods. And you see there's a counter maybe about 10 feet ahead of you, and sitting behind this counter, rather large woman. She seems human at first glance. Very, very like long. It starts out as very, very light blonde and kind of progresses into a dirty blonde to an orange, and the end tips of the hair are bright red. A very, very dark tanned skin. She's sitting in full plate armor, with the exception of the helmet. The helmet is actually resting on the side of the table that she's sitting at. And as you walk in, she kind of like sits up a little straighter, and she goes, "Welcome to the Lord's Alliance. How may I help you?"
Right. Well, be honest, you just built this between 2 buildings, did you?
There's not a lot of real estate here in Eltegard. We take what we can get.
Certainly. All right. Well, I come up and I show the little badge.
As you show the badge, she looks at you, she kind of like nods, and her very stern demeanor softens very slightly. Not a lot, just very slightly.
Right. I was sponsored by Sildar. Hallwinter is the name familiar to you.
Yes, I haven't seen Sildar in some time. How's he doing?
He's doing fine. Living up in Phandalin now.
So I hear.
And I've got take out like the letter and notes that I've been writing. Just it's a stack at this point of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some news that the Alliance needs to know. I'd like it to get up to him, but I think this is a situation important enough that it needs to go further up the chain, but it's probably got to go to him first regarding dragons.
I see.
A lot of them.
There have been some rumors that I've been hearing as of late.
Well, there's something to the rumors. I don't know what they are, but I'll tell you that there's some weight behind probably what you're starting to hear. There's an organization going on, dragons and cultists following them. They're starting to band together for a bigger purpose. And we're trying, I myself and some of my friends, we've been fighting them, right on the front line, but the word's got to get out to more folk so that people can be aware about this. This thing's got all the notes basically describing the situations we've come across, what we think they're up to, where we're going next. And I just want to pass this up the chain.
She kind of nods and she starts looking through the notes immediately, and she's not reading them intently, but she's kind of skimming through them.
Right.
And as she's doing, she's nodding. She's all right, very well. I will get this to Sildar and Fandolin soon.
Thank you. I'm staying over.
Yes, it would take some time.
I give my name. It's like I'm Drovar Ironhelm, and
she starts writing it down.
Yeah, I'm staying over with the. Most of my friends seem to think the Order of the Gauntlet's the way to go, so we're staying with them right now. But
with Master Froome.
Aye, staying with Froome.
All right. She continues to make notes.
Yeah. So that's where
I apologize. Yes.
We're going to be here for a couple of days before we start moving on, continuing in pursuit of this. I don't know how quickly you can get word up, and
we have. Yeah, you know what? This is of some importance. I will make sure that I'll talk with some of the clerics here in the city and see if we can actually get the message immediately.
All right, that's where I'll be. If they've got any questions, I'm happy to provide answers.
All right, excellent. I am, by the way, I'm Stingblade Ugrin. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
No.
She kind of makes some more notes and she goes, all right, very well. I will get this to him. Do you require anything of any import? I mean, we only, and she kind of motions to this small ass building, and she goes, "We don't have a lot in the way of supplies, but we do have some general things. That if you require them."
Well, I wouldn't mind taking a look. I've got some coin, obviously, to.
Oh no! You've worked with the Alliance. Sildar. This is whatever you need. Here. And she kind of she gets up, and as she stands up, this woman is almost 7.5 feet tall. And her head is just almost touching the actual ceiling here. She kind of comes around, goes up to the door, latches it closed, and then she goes back behind and she goes, "Follow me, please." And she leads you up a flight of stairs. And upstairs, you can see that it is just crates and barrels just filled with supplies. She goes, we just have general supplies here. But if you find anything that you or your companions need, feel free. That's what the Lord of the Alliance is here for.
And this is how Drovar dies.
Stack of crates falls on him.
Yeah.
He pokes around a little bit, like two coils of rope.
Yep.
Grappling hooks, a couple of things that, maybe, will come in.
I'll say make an investigation check for me.
Oh boy. I don't want to tell you, it's terrible.
What'd you get? Is it a nat 1?
I got a 3.
Okay, all right. As long as it's not a nat 1, you're good. All
no,
right.
it's not a nat 1.
All right,
I would have been angrier.
Yeah. So you start.
I can't. It's like looking for the lost ark in here. I can't find anything.
So as you're kind of going through everything, she's just standing there watching you. And she's not helping you in any way. She's just standing there staring at you as you're kind of going through all these. And the first couple of crates that you open, you just find it looks like old traveling clothes. You open up another crate and there's just some ratty old blankets. And you're just I can't really use a lot. Some of it is moth eaten, not the greatest. After about 40 minutes or so of just going through stuff, and you eventually get to what at least you figure is the mother lode of actual usable items in this storage area. And yeah, you're able to find 2 lengths, 50-foot lengths of hempen rope,
Okay.
a grappling hook, a tent, which is good for 2 individuals, and 3 water skins. And there are like you find it also. You find 5 torches. And that's pretty much it. Everything else in here is kind of, if it's not ready to fall apart, it's just not in the best condition.
Okay. I take them, start kind of packing them up, and use some of the rope to turn it into a huge bindle that I kind of hurt.
Yep. No worries.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to find something.
Certainly. Is there anything that you guys need looking into in this city? I mean, I'm not sure where my feet are going to take me, but I'd like to keep an eye out for stuff on our behalf.
She kind of sighs and she goes, "Well, the Alliance doesn't really have the presence here that we do in some of the other cities. The Order of the Gauntlet is really go-to for any kind of assignments and such. Unfortunately, I do know outside of the city proper, they usually do patrols. There are sometimes issues that arise, but that's usually handled out by Master Fruit. So probably the person you want to speak. I am doing the best I can to gain more influence here.
No, I understand. If you'll pardon me asking, how'd you get this assignment?
Oh, I requested it.
Really?
Yes. It's I don't know. I don't know about you, but it's something about the light outside. It's comforting. It's warming. It's something I always heard of for many years, but always wanted to see. And when the Alliance said that we needed a presence within Eltergard, I was the first one to volunteer.
I understand. Huh. All right, yeah.
Been here only about 2 years now. And the first year was, let me tell you, it was crazy because we didn't even have this building. It was just me in a cart. A little shameful, to say the least.
I will compliment you on the progress you've made, and I wish you luck.
Hopefully within the next year, I will have a larger building.
All right. Well,
That
if I
is the
see
hope.
any for sale signs, I'll pass the word.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Good luck to yourself. And if you do gather any more information, feel free to come by and please share it with me.
I know where to find you.
Exactly. I'm
Okay.
not going anywhere.
He gives her a grin and heads out the door.
Okay. You eventually make your way back to the tavern. The rest of you kind of see Drovar coming in with this huge bindle of just looks like supplies, kind of ramshackled, tied to his back.
How you doing?
The Yule party came early.
Yeah, well, it's fell off the back of a wagon, and nobody else needed it. All right, but let's go shopping for some real stuff.
Yeah, of course. Let's do that. We have so much stuff.
As you say, Drovar fell off the back of a wagon. Almost a dozen individuals stop what they're doing and all turn.
Come on, really?
I was wondering that.
Oh, come on. No, it's all right.
About half of them go back to what they're doing. The rest kind of like keep eyeing you for a moment and then just go back.
Oh, it's this kind of town. I keep forgetting.
Really.
Kamala's gonna look at them and be like, "It was a joke."
They look at you, Amalia.
No sense of humor.
All right, so where to? You have the day in front of you before the fight. So what would you like to do?
Armor, please.
Well, all right. So some of
Yes.
you said magic. Some of you said magic items, potions.
I'm looking for just to see kind of what's out there in the armor, weapons, or magic trinkets. It's like what's out there. Is there something that might be an upgrade, and if so, can I afford it?
Okay.
Tagging along to all of those places.
So I guess let's talk priorities. What kind of armor are you wearing, Amala?
I'm wearing chain.
We need to get you plate mail, but that's like 1,500 gold. So let's go do that.
All right. So we're doing armor first.
Yes.
Okay.
I will see if they have neat wizard robes that I doubt that they have.
Well, we might want to go to Kale's Curiosities for that.
True.
But if we want to get a suit of armor made, it's going to take time to be fit for Amala. She's a very large dragon person.
That's
Okay.
true. All right. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Let's see how this smithy is.
All right. So easy enough. You ask anybody in the tavern, and they tell you exactly where everything is without any issues. And you make your way back to the marketplace. Drovar, you were just actually there. And just on the outskirts of the marketplace, you begin walking and hearing the familiar sounds of metal on metal. Just ting, ting, ting. And as you continue making going towards the blacksmith, you actually see a very nice smithy. I mean, the smoke is coming out of the chimneys. It's really like a large smithy. There definitely seems to be like a stable attached to it. There are actually about a dozen people kind of milling about on the outside of the smithy. They are in various stages of undress. They're all wearing armor of some sort, some kind of metal armor. But like some of them, just one of them doesn't have breastplate on, but the rest of his armor's on. A few of them don't have greaves. Some of them are not wearing helmets, and they're just kind of like milling about outside. And as you approach, you see the placard, and there's a sword and an axe crossed on this thing, and underneath you see it's written nerves of steel. As you approach the folks that are outside, they just kind of look at you and they just kind of nod to all of you as you walk in. And as you do, you see one of the busiest forges you've ever seen so far. There are half a dozen individuals just running around doing various tasks. There are actually 2 forges going at the same time. And you see at both of them, you almost have to kind of blink. You see 2 half-orcs who look identical to each other. And they are both forging at this forge. And you can see what looks like probably their apprentices and just kind of like bringing materials to them. Just one, you see there each of the forges, there is a halfling at one, and then there is a half elf at the other, just kind of working the billows, making sure that the fire is stoked. And it is very, very warm in here as people are just kind of walking back and forth. And as you walk in, there is, you hear what sounds like a bell chime that's very loud, but you don't see a bell. And as the bell chime goes off, immediately the bellows stop. The forging stops, and you hear the quenching of hot steel and water. And both of the half-orcs turn at almost the same time and say to you both to all of you at the same time, "Hello, how can we help you?"
I think we want to buy some armor. Vince, is there armor you want to wear?
I'm wearing a, not particularly, no. I believe I'm better suited the way I am. There's a bit of a light leather underneath these rags.
I mean, we could get you some brigandine. It's like leather with like studded plates like I wear.
Oh, isn't that loud though?
No. The plates are sewn underneath the leather.
Vorpal is also very quiet
Yeah.
when he moves.
The two half orcs look at each other for a moment, and there seems to be something that passes between them. And the one on the right goes back to forging, and the billow starts going. The other one just kind of like begins to kind of like wipe his hands on his apron, and then just kind of walks over. And as you see, the sides of the head are just shorn clean. There's just no hair, and it's just skin. Both of them have kind of like a light grayish, almost green tinge to their skin. The one that's talking to you has one tusk coming out of the left side of his mouth. The other one has one tusk coming out of the right. And they look identical other than that distinguishing fact. The hair on top of both of their heads is very, very long and pulled into a tight ponytail that turns into a braid. The braids are wrapped around their necks twice. That's how long the hairs are. And the one that comes up to you says, pleasure to meet you. I'm Google. This is my brother, Hurbash. This is our place. So you say you need armor?
Yes, I'm specifically looking for plate mail.
He kind of looks you up and down. He's like, well, as long as you got some time to wait, because we've got kind of a waiting list. We don't have anything in stock. I mean, things go pretty fast.
How long is your wait list?
He kind of motions, and you start to look, and all along the walls, you can see that there are what looks like holders for armor and weapons, and a lot of these spaces are just empty. And he's like, well, I mean, every day we're fixing armor, and then new armor that needs to be made. Well, that's me. That's why I'm talking to you. Urbash is he's the one that does the fixing. I'm the one that does the making. Really? You got like 3 weeks to wait?
Imala's gonna like look around at her group.
We're not sure, but we could certainly start the order.
I mean, yeah, you could, if you want to put down a deposit, I could put your names down. I can see it. Sometimes things fall through, and then I could kind of push you up the list. But as you can tell, from the folks outside, and everybody's in the market for something here. We supply most of the folks here, so it takes a lot, and it's just the two of us. We're training up these folks, but they're not even ready yet to do it on their own.
Imala's gonna look back at Basha, who has the group fund, and be like, "What do you think, Basha?"
I mean, I will help contribute if we want to wait. That's fine with me, but I mean, I don't know how soon we have to move on,
Well, yeah, I'll tell you this. For considering that it is a long waiting list and you're willing to put down some money, normally, and he kind of motions to you, to Amala, for you would probably be about anywhere between 15 to 1,600 gold pieces. I'll cut you a deal for waiting for as long as you might want to be waiting. I could do it for 1,250. If you leave me half, that secures your place in line.
Could we pay you more to get it ahead of the list?
Like if we pay in full?
I just kind of look at him.
He looks at you, and he kind of like looks over his shoulder to his brother, who is at the moment just like hammering again, stops for a minute, turns and looks over his shoulder, and then nods slightly. And then he looks at you and he goes, if you pay it all in full now,
Okay.
I could probably knock a week off. Push you up the list.
How could we get it done in a week? Because that's like we're not sure how long we're gonna have to wait, but we know that's at least the minimum amount of time we have.
Oh wow. Make a persuasion check. He seems really like struggling with this request.
15.
15. Curious to see what he gets.
And I'll make sure that I have like my Order of the Gauntlet pin. I just shine it a little bit as I'm talking with him.
Yeah. He kind of looks and he's like, well, if, and this is a big if, I could push it up to a week, you're gonna have to pay it all up in full, and that's gonna be about $16.50.
Okay, I got it. Also, that man needs stud leather armor.
Who do you point to?
Vincent.
Vincent. Kind of, he looks at Vincent. He goes, "He looks like he'd blow away if a strong wind came by."
One reason he needs the armor.
Well, I mean, like the armor ain't gonna hurt him. Like if he puts it on, he's not gonna break something.
He's already wearing leather armor.
I can.
He walks right up to you, Vincent, and begins pulling your clothes up and moving your cloak.
Oh,
Well, hell, you are wearing armor. Okay. I was looking out for your safety. Don't worry about it.
Touch me again, and I'm going to burn down your shop.
Oh my
No, we
God.
won't.
No, he's not. Vincent,
No,
stop
no.
it. He has to get your size. I lick my eyes as I say that.
He is stopped. The smile has left his face, and he is like giving Vincent a death stare.
My friend doesn't like to be touched. It's his first time in a big city. That was a lot of sensory overload. So
Make a persuasion check.
natural 20 for 23.
Okay. He kind of looks at you, Gorple, and then he looks back at Vincent. All right. He kind of backs up a little. All right, so for you, young lady, and he points to you, Amala, you want it pushed up to a week of waiting. It's going to be $16.50. And you, Skinny, you want studded leather armor. I'm assuming that you all can only wait a week.
Pretty much.
It's going to be 800 gold up front right now.
Wait, 800 gold for a basic suit of studded leather armor?
I
That's
don't
the price
like
you get for threatening to
I
burn his
don't
fucking
like
place
him.
down.
I don't like him, so there's a fuck you tax on there.
I mean, I'd be okay to pay double, but studded leather's only like 40 gold.
I mean, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of him either, but $800 for the fuck you tax, or 800 gold for the fuck you tax, a little bit pricey.
How about this? I have a counter offer, which is, how about I give you 1,800 gold and we call it square? That's
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage as he's just staring Vincent down right now.
Oh, Vincent.
That's a big 9. I guess I could use one of our group
Use a
inspirations.
group, we have
You
extras.
have lots of group inspirations.
Sure. Not better. It's an 8.
Okay, hold on.
You know, you're say you're gonna burn a man's house and home shop down.
Yeah.
There's a cost.
He takes
Uh,
it seriously.
So he kind of looks and he looks like he's about to say something, and you see a hand go onto his shoulder, and you watch as his brother, who has stopped forging, has come over, and he just kind of like looks at him for a minute. He turns around and he goes back to his forge, and the other brother now comes over. He goes, "Yeah, I'm Hurabash. Pleasure to meet you. I'm the nice one. I heard you threatened to burn our place down. It's probably not a good idea to go around threatening things, even if you're upset with people. Just a friendly little warning." And he looks to you, Gorple. make it 1950 and you got yourself a deal.
That's like highway robbery. I already upped the amount for the studded leather.
Oh.
All right, fine.
All right. You get their names, get the money, put them on the list, 1 week wait.
So I
Gorple, do you need something from me?
I give him a pearl necklace, a sapphire ring, and 6 uncut gems, which total 1,800 gold, and then I give him 150 out of my pocket.
He sent over his assistant, which is a half elf, and the half elf is now holding all of these gems and everything, and he just like just holds it out to this half orc and just like, and half orc goes, whoa. What the hell is this? We're not jewelers. Money, cash, coin. The fuck is this?
Gems are money. You don't take gems?
No, we take coin. That's the way it works here.
You ain't been enough City Scorp. All right, where's a place where we can sell this stuff?
I mean,
I have cash. I just don't have that much cash.
I mean, look, there's plenty of people out in the marketplace might be able to help you out. But I'm sorry, we only take coin. Because I don't know what the hell to do with this stuff other than resell it, and I might get ripped off.
All right,
I don't know anything about this shit.
Just gonna be there's no sign that says coin only, so that feels like I'm a little sad because I would have known that ahead of time. Just saying. I was willing to pay extra money, but now I have to go sell this and then come back. It's a whole hassle. But okay.
Look, there's a few jewelers. There's jewelers in the square.
The armor.
Okay. Well, how about this? Basha, do we have group money? Because I have like 1,100. I have like 1,100 gold.
I mean, I was saving it. I was going to save it for my nice hybrid robes when I could get them someday. But if you guys promise to pay me back later from jeweler, I can give you my cash. And she pulls out like a honkin' sack of gold, like just like, woof, like where was she keeping that on her person? You're not sure, but it is like weighty. And I'm like, I could give you 1,000 gold right now.
Well, how about? I mean,
you see the half elf actually whisper something into the half orc's ear, and it just kind of looks at it. All right, hey, my apprentice says that if you go to Kale's Curiosities, the owner there does a brisk trade in like weird shit, but also will do stuff with gold, with the gems and jewelry and stuff.
All right, well then I cover this, Gorple. You cover my thing for up to 1,000 gold, and this is 1,000 gold towards your Vincent's and Amala's.
And I can throw 200 towards it.
I really don't need the armor, guys.
Too late, it's happening. As I'm like counting out the coins.
No. He makes a good point. I don't want to get fleeced anymore, so I'll pay the 1,650 instead of buying the stud leather that you don't want to. That you're trying to make me buy for 300 extra gold, which is insane.
And that he made everyone angry about anyway.
Yeah. So, but you like her, so we'll do the 1,650. Basha put in 800. I'll put in 850.
Just 800? Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll get it paid back out of the gems that I have that are all of ours anyway. So bam, they're 1,650.
All right, yeah, take care of this shit and measure her up. And so he goes back to forging. One of the other assistants comes over and begins helping, and the half elf begins taking your measurements, Amala. Just writing everything down. Takes the money. You see them pull out this huge book. Like this book is like this thick, and just kind of like turns to like almost the middle of the book, and just kind of starts writing your name. Takes your name down, writes it in there, and says, "All right, yeah. So in a week you can come back full for the set. You do have there is a 3-day grace period where you can come back and if you want to change the order or cancel it and get your back, you could do so. But after 3 days, you get what you pay for."
I mean, as long as my torso measurement's good and it feels good and like the arms, we're good.
Oh no, they're really good at what they do. That's why I've been apprenticing here.
All right, well, thank you very much.
All right, you have a good day. and then just goes back to doing what they're doing. And now both the brothers are back foraging. The other one, Google, every now and then, Google actually, not Google, as he's he's hammering, every now and then, he's just turning his head and just giving Vincent the stink eye, just like, and then going back. And then you leave. As you're leaving, there are a few individuals who have like stuck their head in to see what the hell's going on. And as you're walking out, they all just kind of like move away from the door or go back to what they were doing out front.
Uh-huh.
I hate this place a little bit. It's just not like good cities.
I know.
There are way better cities.
Can we please go to better city? I mean, there's no brothels, there's no bathhouses. Like, this is terrible.
All right, so where
you
have to
brothels, Basha?
What?
You go to brothels?
I worship soon.
Oh, fair. Yes.
I think we want to go to the curiosity shop.
Okay. All right. Easy enough. It is actually on the other side of the marketplace. And as you begin making your way there, you can see a rather large building. One story. Unlike most of the buildings here, a lot of these buildings are 2 stories or more. This one is just 1 story, but it seems it has the feel of a townhouse. A beautiful townhouse. There. As you approach it, unlike the stone facades of most of these buildings, this is all wood. And there is a chimney. It's like a purplish red wood on the roof, and there is a large window in the front. There are curtains that are kind of blocking the view into the store. But if you wanted to see, you could, you'd have to get like right up close. And you can see above the door, it says Kale's Curiosities. And both words start with the letter K.
Basha looks like super excited. Like, she's like...
As you all walk in, the door opens, it hits a little bell. And as the bell rings, you do see there's somebody at the front counter. But there are a number of display cases to the left, to the right. There are things hanging on the ceilings, on the walls. And behind the counter, you see a male tabaxi, all black, with a white fur right in the middle between the head. And there's just one shock of white hair just kind of like curled up on the front of the tabaxi. The tabaxi's wearing these very, very fancy, like gold robes with this white trim. And as you enter, it says, "Hello and welcome to Kale's Curiosities. How may I help you this fine day?"
Yes, I'm just curious to see your curiosities. I am Wizard from God, what is our town, guys?
You're from Neverwinter.
Thank you. I keep wanting to say Night Vale today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, yeah.
Neverwinter, very different place. Anyway, I am from Neverwinter, and I am just curious to see what you have here.
Well, you are curious, and I have the curiosities. So please, let me show you around. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, because it's already 9:30, I want to make sure that we take our break, and then we can start off here.
Good point.
All right. So, yeah. So, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we will see what Kale's Curiosities is all about, and then we will see what happens. So stick with us. We will be right back. All right, and we are back, folks. So, as you all walk into Kale's Curiosity, this tabaxi comes out from behind the counter. Yes, so welcome to my place. I am Kale Briskwinds. Welcome to Kale's Curiosities. Let me show you around. And they motion at first to this one section, which is to the left of the shop as you actually walk in. And along the wall, you see hanging what looks like wooden legs, wooden arms, and they are like inscribed with these very, very intricate runes. And right below them is a glass case. And inside the case, you see wooden hands, wooden feet, and this large row of glass eyes. And as you're kind of looking at this, and they're kind of like motioning, they kind of look you all up and down, and they go, "You all seem to have all your original parts. So
yes.
I don't think this section is for you. We will move on from this section."
No, if you guys in the old 33rd, I could have used those.
Wait, is removing and replacing parts on the table?
Not this table. Moving on.
No, you just if for some reason in the course of you living your life, you lose an arm, a hand, an eye. These are all parts that you would be able to purchase here, and they would act exactly as your intended part. But you all seem to have all of your parts, so we will move on. And as you begin walking away from the section, the glass eyeballs follow you.
Oh, I hate that.
You move over to another section, and as you do, this section hanging above, this is kind of like in the middle of the shop, and the shop is fairly large. Like, you all very comfortably can kind of walk around the shop. In the middle, there are a number of not cases, but just kind of like these kind of wooden stands where pieces are set atop on them. And then right above, there's actually things hanging down. As you look above, you actually see like two sets of very, very intricate like sets of clothing. They look like travel wear, but very nice, like silks and very well made, very clean. Just kind of hanging there. There is a cloak also hanging with the clothing as well. Very, very beautiful looking cloak. On the actual wooden stands, you see 2 pairs of leather boots. One pair is brown, one pair is black. And again, very beautiful. They look very like brand new. There is also on one of the wooden stands this large glass vial. It's round. It looks kind of like it has. It's a perfume vial with a little pump on the end of it that kind of sprays. And then and so that's in the middle section. So here, I don't know what you are looking for. So these are some of the items that we have. The clothing that you see here, these are clothes of mending. These travel clothes, they are magically infused to deal with the wear and tear of all the travel, and you will look wonderful at the same time.
Basha gives a big sigh, like as she's looking at them, like.
The cloak is a cloak of billowing. Here, let me demonstrate. And they with a flourish, they pull the cloak down. They put the cloak on, and as they just kind of stand there, they kind of move their hand, and you just watch. There's no wind, but the cape just begins to billow outward in like a heroic fashion, as if there's like a wind in the actual store.
Basha's like, wait, you need something, and she like lifts a hand and like prestidigitates like just sparkles around him on top of it all.
Yes, absolutely, that was wonderful. Thank you. But see, don't I look fantastic?
Yes, yes, you do.
And then takes the cloak off, throws it up, and as they throw it up, it just goes right back on the hanger. And says, "This is wonderful perfume of bewitching. This makes you very irresistible to certain individuals. So much so, they might be willing to do things for you that they might not normally want to. But you know, but it also smells wonderful of lilacs and such. So
if you were like fighting someone and wearing it, will it like help? Maybe depending on the person."
It depends on the type of person that you use it on, or it smells around.
That could be fun.
And these boots have been very popular. I had 4 pair earlier this week. These are my only 2 pair left. These are the boots of false tracks. You can, as you wear these boots, they allow you to change what your footprints look like as you are traveling through the wilds. These are very good, especially if you are patrolling or are an adventurer, and you all look like the adventuring types.
Oh, well, yes.
Moving on. And continues to move on to the next section, which is on the other side of the store. And you can see here a number of weapons. There are 2 shields hanging on the walls. And there's also kind of like a wooden case that is open that has a number of items. So kind of motions to the wall. So here we have a number of 2 items, and you can see a rapier and a longsword. They seem similar of make. These are moon touch swords. These are wonderful swords. They give off moonlight in dark places. If you need that sort of thing. If you are a person who is a fighter or a person who uses weapons such as these, but you don't want to be encumbered with silly torches, this is a wonderful item to have. Then motions to one shield, and this shield, it looks like a silver or maybe even platinum shield. And on the front of the shield, there is a face. It is just kind of like a blank generic face. And it's just kind of like very stoically kind of, just kind of like staring out into the distance. This one is the shield of expression. I have known some individuals who love these type of shields because they are able to express themselves without saying a word. Here, let me demonstrate. And very quickly and deftly pulls the shield off of the wall and holds it in their arm. And then says, "I am feeling very upset." And then as they say this, you watch the expression of the face start to frown. And then he goes, "You know what? I don't like you. You are peasants to me." And as he says it, you watch it go. And it sticks its tongue out at all of you.
So,
Yes,
question about that.
of course.
You said that it allows you to express yourself without having to say a word, but it seems you had to give it 2 commands there.
Oh, well, I was just so you understood what I was doing. I could do that without even saying. See, here, let me show you. And then as it just stands there and stares at you, you just watch the eyes cross themselves, and it goes. See, I didn't say a word. And then it just puts it back on. And then they motion to the next shield. And as they motion to the next shield, this shield seems to be made out of a blue gem. Like the whole shield. This is, I love this one. This is a sapphire buckler. This one was actually brought to me by a visitor here to Eltigard. They decided as a gift to the people of Eltigard, they would bring some of the wares from where they live. Obviously, they wanted to sell. It wasn't a gift. They wanted to make some money off of this as well. But this one is a very interesting. Let me get my notes on this because I don't normally carry this. So let me see exactly what it. Let me remind myself what it does. It begins kind of looking at there's a piece of paper kind of attached to it. Begins looking at it. Oh yes, this specific shield, it is fashioned from something that I've never actually very heard of, but apparently exists. A sapphire dragon. This is made from a sapphire dragon scale. And apparently when you use it, you are able to sense creatures that are not from this plane of existence. And when you take, specifically when you take damage from a creature that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal 2d6 thunder damage to that creature.
How much for the shield?
Oh wait, I will give you all of the prices. Let me just continue my let me show you all of the amazing things. It's pretty. It's probably the most expensive thing here in the shop because it is so unique. But we will move on. And then they begin kind of motioning to the items that are on the wooden shelf. Yes, Mal.
Can I roll to see what I know about sapphire dragons?
Yes, make a history check. The DC is pretty high.
That was only a 4. I know nothing.
4?
Sounds cool.
You've heard fairy tale stories about gem dragons. Like dragons made out of gem materials, sapphire and emerald and all of these crazy things, but they've been mostly fairy tale stories.
So I'm like, this is fake. This is phooey. Those are fairy tales. The shield doesn't do what they say.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I'm keeping it inside, but I am very skeptical of this man now. He can probably see it maybe a little bit on my face.
Yeah, I think probably when I hear Sapphire Dragon, I kind of glance over to Mala and she's probably got that, it's like, are they? Yeah, I've never heard of those.
They're fairy tales, Drovar.
All right.
So they continue, they cast motion. So the first thing they actually motion to, you see there are these 2 solid arrows. He says, "These are unbreakable arrows. No matter what you do, you cannot break these arrows, no matter what. Good for archers or, whatever you might need arrows for. But each of these arrows, completely unbreakable. Watch." And pulls the arrows out and tries to kind of bend them and break them. They seem very flexible, but they don't break. They go right back to their original. And they seem to be made of one piece of material. I'm not sure what the material is, but there's fletching, there is a head, and there is a shaft, but they all seem to be one piece. This And then he kind of motions, and there is a large brass key. And at the head of the key, there is a question mark engraved. This is the mystery key. I don't know what it does. It's a mystery. Moves on to the next thing. This right here, and points to a little doll. Like it is like this little. It has like yarn for hair, buttons for eyes. Seems to be made out of canvas, a material. It seems fairly well made, but it is a little doll. It's wearing like this little flowery dress. He goes, "This is interesting. This is a talking doll. Watch." Pulls the doll, kind of turns their back to you, and whispers something to the doll. And then as he comes back, puts the doll right to all of you. It goes in their voice. "Do you want some candy?"
That's terrifying.
You can put whatever phrase you would like in this doll, and the doll will repeat this phrase. And then this one, and then he kind of points, and there is this large metallic tankard. This is the tankard of sobriety.
No, that's worse than the doll. My God.
It's not so bad. So what happens is you can pour any kind of alcohol into this tankard. You can drink from it. It will taste exactly the way you normally taste the alcohol. You will never get.
Why would you want that?
Wait! You would if you were in a drinking contest with someone and you had to win. That's where it would be useful.
But that is cheating.
Yes, but who would know?
I want to tell you, that's how I drink literally every alcoholic beverage we have.
Oh,
Well, you're lucky. You're just like a living one of these things, aren't you?
yeah, exactly.
But we're not drinking out of Gorple, just saying.
No.
Gross.
That sounds terrifying. Trying to drink out of your friend.
I mean, my bathwater may have been used in some of Bochek's brews.
Do you remember the soup incident? We're not repeating this.
I don't even want to know about that.
Yeah,
no,
you
thanks.
Don't we all eat something called Gorple honey?
Yes, we do, and that is for healing, and you are correct. It is gross, technically, if you think about it.
We don't think about it.
What else you got?
All right. Well,
I pop a good berry in my mouth.
These are some of the high-end items. But I also do a healthy trade, also in potions, and sometimes, and you beautiful young woman, you said that you are a wizard. Sometimes I do also have a number of components that wizards might use for things.
Well, thank you. I will look at them. She says, she's like pripping her hair, like, "Oh yes, beautiful young woman. I love this. This is great."
Yes, right now, most of the specialty potions are out of stock, but I do have a number of healing potions that are available, if that is something that you are looking
Oh, I didn't know when this would be a good time, but Vasily said that he sent us and wanted to say hi.
Oh, you are friends with Vasily. Then you will get Vasily prices.
I lean over to Drover like, I hope that is good price and not like worse.
Does that mean you're charging us more or less?
That means you get Vasily prices.
Right. All right. It's excited.
So, what can Kale do for you today?
So what about the key? You say you don't know what it does, but it does something?
Well, all right. So the gentleman that sold it to me, he was a little... what's the term? Iffy, but he essentially he was really hurting for money, and I got it for a really good price. There is a magic that is attached to it. When I tried to identify it, it said that sometimes it will open locks, but it's there's not a big chance. You can put this key into any lock, essentially, but there is a very small chance it will open it. If it does, wonderful. You have now an open lock. But, you don't know if it will or if it won't. But it is magical. Most things in here have some kind of magic attached to it.
Question, if it opens that lock, is it only for that key forever, or can it try to open other locks?
I was told it might disappear for all time. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
One shot
That's why
emergency, maybe
it is a
it'll open.
mystery.
Well, I like the cut of your jib. I'll take the key just in case.
All right, that will be 25 gold pieces.
All right.
How much for the lovely bewitching perfume and the cloak of billowing? I may not get both. I'm just curious what the prices are.
The cloak of billowing, that will run you 100 gold pieces. But the perfume of bewitching, because not only is it enchanted, but smells wonderful and lovely like you do, that is a little more expensive. That will be 175 gold pieces.
Okay. All right, do we think I'm turning to the rest of the group. Do you think I could use this, like, in a fight and try and turn it around, but, like, try to seduce my opponent, but then, like, cut them down with, like, magic? What do we think?
Wait, you're talking about the perfume?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's probably better for avoiding a fight that's about to start.
Or that.
I mean, it literally has your middle name in it, Witch, so I think you should buy it.
Right? I think it could be fun. I might have to get it.
Well, here, let's keep going. It looks like Vincent and Amala were really interested in this buckler.
It's perfectly aesthetically matching my whole getup. So yes,
the sapphire.
Are you able to use bucklers, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Yes. What about those unbreakable arrows for you?
Oh, I 100% want the unbreakable arrows.
All right.
Also, I want that weird talking doll.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so creepy. Please don't put it in my bed at night. I will come after you.
So useful.
How heavy is that doll, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's about this big. It's super light. It's just like, you know.
Is it less than a pound?
Less than a pound.
We could even put that in a tiny paper boat and have it swim around saying things.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Creepy. That's so creepy.
I mean, you
Vincent, you're creepy.
No, it's easy. If it records your voice and then plays it, you could throw people off your track. You could run a message across a battlefield. Like this, there's a lot more practical uses, and you call it creepy, but it just looks like a tiny person to me.
Okay.
I mean, I thought your daughters would love it.
Well, they're a little old for it now, but yes, they would have loved it. I wish this had existed when they were young, because if I had one of these, it could have been great.
All right, what is the price of the doll, the unbreakable arrows, and this buckler? If you want to give them separately, so we can figure out what we can afford.
So the buckler, as I said, the most expensive thing in here, that is going to run you 2,500 gold pieces. It is very magical. It comes from a very rare sapphire gem, and it does all of these magic things. So, and again, unique. I have never seen something like this before. I had the magic tested. It is genuine.
Can I hold the buckler for a minute so I can look it over?
Of course. And takes the buckler off and kind of hands it to you. And these absolutely look like dragon scales. But they are somewhat translucent with that blue tinge. If you try to look through it, like everything is distorted, but you can kind of see through it. It's lighter than you thought it would be. So that is the buckler. You said the unbreakable arrows. Each unbreakable arrow, 100 gold pieces. If you buy them together, I give you a discount.
They're going to be bought together.
All right. So for both of them together, 150 gold pieces. The doll, she's been here for a while. She needs a good home. Only 10 gold.
Great. Potions you have available. I know you said you don't have high end, but what do you got? We're probably going to buy it.
I have healing potions. Let me see how many I have available.
Okay.
Goes behind the counter. You can kind of hear like the shuffling of like vials and glass vials and such. Yes, I have 5 regular healing potions available at this moment.
Yeah, we should definitely get those. What else? What other kind of potions do you have?
Oh, we are out of the other types that we normally we usually have like specialty potions, but unfortunately they were sold out.
What about what were the components that you said you had?
What are you requiring? Any specific type of components?
I don't know. I'd have to look. Let me look at my
right now,
spellbook.
off the top of my head, I do have much in the way of incense. I do have magical inks and papers as well. But I do have some stuff in the back that I have not taken out in a while. I don't, as you can tell from this city, there's not many arcane users that require the things that wizards may need. So they've been sitting in the back for a while, so I don't know off the top of my head. But if you tell me what you need, I can go check and see.
Let me look.
What are your prices on your potions?
Oh, the potions, I give you the facility prices. If you buy them individually, like just one or two, 45 gold each. But if you buy all 6, I give you a discount.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna buy all of them. So
Yeah, you said before there were 5, but there's actually 6 of them.
Kind of looks down. Yes.
All right.
Everybody make a perception check.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm distracted.
Drover, what'd you get?
9.
9. You said you were distracted.
I rolled a 4.
Gorple?
22.
22. Amala?
21.
Vincent?
16.
16. All right, so Gorple, Amala, Vincent. When Drover calls Kale out and says, "You said 5. Now there's 6," and he said, "Yes." You hear under their breath, they go, "Shit."
So Amala's going to place her hand on this buckler and do a little tiny prayer to Bahamut and to see if this is actually real or not, and if it's actually worth it.
Make a wisdom check for me, please.
That's a 17.
17. You feel that kind of connection when you are meditating or praying to Bahamut that you normally do, but you don't get an answer either way. You feel the connection, but you don't feel like a positive or negative.
I really doubt this is actually from a sapphire dragon.
Well, if it does what he says it does, who cares where it comes from? Maybe it comes from something else.
Basha kind of makes her way over. I'm like, "Do you want me to check it really quick?"
He said he got the magic checked, which is fine, but I think he is embellishing about a sapphire dragon, which is rather irritating to me.
Look, it sounds better than it came from, the giant blue slug out back. It's not quite as romantic, but
it is pretty. I'll give him that.
If it works, now you use a two-handed weapon, and so do I. So both of us, it's it could be useful, but you'd have to switch out your weapon to carry that thing.
Question.
But Vincent, go ahead.
And Vincent doesn't have 2 coppers to run.
Yes.
Do you do layaway programs if I have, say, by the end of the night, a quarter of the price?
I don't know what that means.
It means I pay a quarter now, a quarter a month from now, a quarter a month from now, and then a quarter a month from now.
Oh, no. I have this amazing payment plan. You pay me the full price and then you walk out with the item.
So what was the price on those 6 healing potions?
For you, for Vasily prices, with the discount of buying all of them at the same time, 225 gold pieces.
Rennie, I think your mic is hot.
Yeah, you have hot mic.
Rennie.
I don't even know
what's up.
We can
Rennie,
hear.
we can hear you.
Mike.
There's something playing in the background of your...
Yeah, you have something
can.
playing in the background and we can hear it. Can he not hear us at all?
Whoop.
Sorry.
No worries. Whoop. I don't know why that happened. There we go. You're
Yeah,
good.
we can
Alright,
hear
yeah,
you.
it's
So
quiet
you're
now.
good.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. It happens.
I'm gonna pull out all those gems and stuff. I heard you actually take gems and jewelry as well.
As you pull the gems and jewelry out, you just watch the eyes go wide. The eyes begin sparkling. He says, "Oh, yes, I do. You heard correctly."
Well, I think this might help go a long way into prices. So, if you, I don't.
All right. So 200. Let's go through these. You are taking the doll, yes? All right. That is 10 gold. You want the arrows? I give them to you for 150.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
6 healing potions for 225.
225 for potions, yes.
The sapphire buckler for 2500.
Yes.
The perfume for 175.
Woohoo!
Yes.
And the cloak of billowing, but that might be taken away. That's 100.
Yes.
Was there anything you want to? And the mystery key for 10, I think.
The mystery key was a 25.
25.
I already got that.
You got that? All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that to be
All
said.
right, I have something I could throw into if we need more money.
Well,
I've
I
been
figured
saving it.
we'll get the total. We'll sell all these gems because that's part of our funds, and then we can figure out what monies we need to come up with.
Well, we
And
have
also
okay.
paying you two back for my plate mail.
All right. So all in total, that includes the cloak of billowing. It will be 3,160 gold pieces.
All right. So I don't know what prices he gives us, but the pearl necklace is worth 300.
All
The
right.
sapphire ring is worth 900.
Okay.
The 6 uncut gems are worth 100 gold each.
600. Okay. So
Well, that's 1,800.
yeah, so they begin kind of going through the gems, kind of looking everything over. You watch as their hand just kind of does this strange motion. Their eyes flash. All right, yes. This is at least 2,000 gold pieces worth of items. So I need another 1,160.
Are you
Go
What do
ahead.
are you interested in like strange things that might be useful to people?
Define strange things.
I pull out 9 sturge proboscises that have been properly cleaned.
Ooh. That's all right. I think this is more for the culinary arts rather than what I need it for.
I got something from a Sturge for you, and I take out the Sturge death whistle. Clunk. Take a look at that.
What is? Oh, what? Please explain.
Well, if you blow through it, it animates the dead.
Immediately grabs it, moves it closer to themselves. Does the whole hand motion, eyes flash. Oh, very interesting.
Just a question. His hands aren't on backwards, right?
No. No,
Just checking.
They seem to be regular tabaxi hands. So I will, if you trade this to me, that will knock another 1,000 gold pieces off.
All right, I have something that I've been holding on to for a long time, and Basha's gonna drag out a ruby from her bag. It is, it says that it's worth 5,000 on my end. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it says. So she pulls out this beautifully cut ruby and sets it down. I've been saving this for party funds.
As you bring that out, I just put my hand over it. It's like, yeah, and I just no, and I just turn away with you for a second. It's like, we could buy the whole fucking shop for that. Put that away.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, then I'm saving it.
Yeah.
The
Save it
Tabaxi,
for-
as you're doing this, the Tabaxi's just like,
He leans. It's like I'm looking for something I can fly, so I can kill a fucking dragon in the air. But this guy's got nothing like that.
Okay, well, it's true. I want to save that anyway
Yeah.
for my fancy robes.
all right. Well, I just require, if this is part of the trade, another 360 gold pieces, and we will be square.
All right. Well, I also have a piece of turquoise. That's like not, it's like I can give that away. I'm okay giving that away. It's not gonna help much, but here you go.
How much is it worth?
10 gold.
10 gold?
Do you buy spell scrolls?
Which
Wait a minute.
Which
Yeah, what
kinds
kind?
Of, which kinds
Boss
of
just like-
spells?
I will pull out my scroll of augury that I've had since fucking Fandelver because we did not have anyone who could use it.
Oh,
Now
I can't
can.
use that. Never
Okay.
mind.
Now I can, but I don't care enough to. So,
Okay.
is
So
this
takes
worth
the,
anything?
takes the piece of turquoise, kind of looks it over, takes the scroll from you, opens it, kind of looks it over. All right. That will knock down the price another 150 gold.
Question: do we have any more of those necklaces we managed to pilfer?
I nod yes. Yeah, we have a few, but I don't know if we want to kind of give them to our allies who will be helping. But yeah, here I'll pull one out. Is this worth anything? It'll let someone see in the dark. If you put it on, you can kind of sense things around you.
Takes it, does the whole hand wave again, eyes flash. Very crudely made, but interesting. You do not have to attune. Very nice. How many more of these do you have? If you have 4 more, we will call it evens.
You're telling me? So wait. So that item is worth? That seems not worth the price, though. You said we only owe you 150 more.
No. It was taking 150 off, which leaves 210 gold pieces.
So
But if
for a
you
total of
If you have 4 of these, we'll call it even.
I was like, people are gonna buy those from you at way higher a price.
Let me worry about that.
I think someone needs to roll persuasion using group
Right.
inspiration.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
I'm getting the guys. He's squeezing. He's squeezing here.
listen. That's a very powerful item. You said it yourself. It doesn't require tuning. It might be crudely made, but its ability is very useful for any adventurer, especially anyone going into darkness or in caves. I think one of those is worth that price you're asking.
Make
And it'll fit very well in your shop's aesthetic.
Oh, yes.
make a persuasion check with advantage.
Do you want me to roll, Gene? I have a +7.
Oh yes, please, dear God. I only have a +3 because I'm proficient.
You said add advantage?
With advantage, yeah.
That is a 23.
23. 2 of these and you have a deal.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, so we need to check how many of these we have left, because if we have, I think
So
Yeah.
we had a total of 5 from what you found from the people, and I had 5 from the chest.
right.
So I think every one of us is wearing it. So
Mhm.
that's 4 of us plus Teague is 5, plus Vincent's cat is 6. So we have 4 left.
Okay.
So if we give
two,
sorry.
we'll have 2 remaining.
Well, to be fair-
for,
I don't actually need one. I have one, but I don't need it.
well, just it's good to have handy, But then we have 2 spares in case we have NPCs along with us. It's like, put this on, you'll need it. I think that would be fine. And
and then we could take it back when they're done, and we'll just recycle
Mhm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
So you give- so
yeah,
you give- you give
Drovar
them the
shrugs.
two?
He's like, sounds good.
So as you give him the 2, begins kind of taking all of these items and takes a empty box from underneath the counter, begins kind of putting all of the items into the box and closes it. It was a pleasure doing business with all of you. Thank you so much for coming to Chaos Curiosity. Tell your friends.
Basha definitely just like puts on the cloak and makes it billow, just like standing still. Like,
all right, so all right, quick thing. As they kind of pull the box filled with these items down, says, "Oh, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. I forgot to put this out." And kind of pulls out like a blue length of 50-foot rope. This is a rope of mending. You can cut this rope into numerous pieces, and then after you cut it, you put them back together, say the magic words, and it becomes 50-foot rope again. However, don't lose the pieces because then you won't have a 50-foot.
How much?
200 gold pieces. All right, that was just worth a shot. Enjoy your purchases. Please come back again.
Okay, so.
All right. Let's go through the list of stuff. Some of it you're gonna have to identify, and I'll let you know. The buckler you're going to have to identify.
Okay.
But so yeah, the cloak of billowing is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You just say you can actually decide whatever word you want to make it, and then it will just billow as if a wind is blowing it dramatically. Unbreakable arrow, exactly what it is. He said it was, with the exception that except it can't be broken except when it is within an anti-magic field. Other than that, it is a completely 2 unbreakable arrows. Talking doll. While the stuffed doll is within 5 feet of you, you can spend a short rest telling it to say up to 6 phrases, none of which can be more than 6 words long, and set a condition under which the doll speaks each phrase. You can also replace old phrases with new ones. Whatever the condition, it must occur within 5 feet of the doll to make it speak. For example, whenever someone picks up the doll, it might say, "I want a piece of candy." The doll's phrases are lost when your attunement to the doll ends. What else? Let's see. What else? The mystery key. A question mark is worked into the head of the key. The key has a 5% chance of unlocking any lock into which it's inserted. Once it unlocks something, the key disappears. And what else? You got the potions, you got the healing potions, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
The sapphire.
Yes.
Yeah. So the sapphire buckler. Yeah. The sapphire buckler. You absolutely have to identify.
I will. Yeah, I'll identify it if they ask me to. What and the perfume of bewitching is what it says it is as well.
Yeah. Perfume of bewitching. Where is it? Here it is. This tiny vial contains magic perfume enough for 1 use. You can use an action to apply the perfume to yourself, and its effect lasts 1 hour. For the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at humanoids of challenge rating 1 or lower. Those subjected to the perfume's effect are not aware that they've been influenced by magic.
I like it.
Also, Vincent, that buckler's all you.
I'll take 10 minutes to identify it if we're like hanging out while we're like putting on stuff and putting things away for the buckler.
I mean, probably when we get back to the, before you prep for your duel.
Okay. So yeah, you eventually make your way back to the tavern. If you spent 10 minutes identifying it, this crystalline blue shield is fashioned from sapphire dragon scale and is created to aid in rooting out the influence of aberrations. While wielding the shield, you have resistance to psychic and thunder damage. Also, when you take damage from a creature that is within 5 feet of you, you can use a reaction to deal 2d6 thunder damage to that creature. As an action, You can use the shield to help you locate aberrations until the end of your next turn. If any aberrations are within 1 mile of you, the shield emits a low humming tone for a moment, and you know the direction of all aberrations within that range. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next one.
Damn.
Does that shield require attunement?
It does.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
'Cause I was like, Jesus, if it did all that, did it require attunement? Holy butts.
It does require doing it.
Damn, you can use your reaction just over and over again every round.
Yep.
Oh. And locating aberrations is that is so powerful.
And
'Cause-
Basha, it is absolutely made out of sapphire gem dragon scales.
Ooh. Yes, this is sapphire dragon scale. Look at that. She says out loud after identifying it.
Fairy tales come true.
Yes, it looks like your childhood tales were real. All along.
Interestingly enough, Basha, when you identify the buckler, Jan didn't talk to you. You got the information. You got the information like you normally do, but Jan did not say a word.
Weird. Why did that change?
What do you mean?
Well, normally Jan explains things to me, but in this case, it just sort of came to me. I'm actually gonna check my book. Jan, are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, okay. It's just normally you, like, explain things to me. That was weird. Okay.
I don't like dragons.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it seems I have a new task in life now, is to track down some gem dragons.
By the way, I just found out Jan doesn't like dragons, I say, holding up my book.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, given the size of this shield, that dragon must have been huge.
I mean,
And
it's a buckler, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A single scale.
Yeah, a single scale. That's the thing.
It does
like-
look like it does look like it's probably 1 or 2 scales.
I mean, we'll figure out if you guys want to pay us back. That's great, but like, it's gonna help us in this journey, and we'll get money along the way, and you can make that happen at your leisure. I'm not a loan shark, but I might break your knees as I lick my eyes as I say that.
Wow. I also have, party fund money, so I can also, like, just consider it, some of it taken from the party fund as well.
Hey, and I coughed up a death bone for you, so don't forget that.
Right, I will not forget
I do not enjoy owing people gold, so I'll make sure to pay back the 1650 over time.
I mean, all those gems was party funds, so just remember that wasn't my personal money. The 800 gold was my personal money, but the gems was our money. That's why I figured we want all of those things.
And I think I basically lost a thousand gold or so for that. Oh, that creepy thing.
Yeah, that thing's terrible. So honestly, getting rid of it, I think is really.
I didn't mind getting rid of it really, but
Okay. So now as you're in the tavern, it's starting to fill up and people are starting to show up. And it's getting to be about that time for the fights. Unless there's anything that you wanted to do prior.
I'm putting that perfume on prior to the thing. Wait, how long? How long does it last?
You have only 1 use.
No! Okay, then no, I won't.
And it lasts an hour.
Amala's warming up, waiting to meet this red dragonborn.
All right. As you are as it's starting to fill up, you see this small gnome with bright purple pinkish hair, including the large handlebar mustache. Also bright pinkish purple, wearing kind of like these blue traveling clothes, kind of jump up on the bar. Hello, everyone. Emilio is here. So we're getting ready to take bets. But before that happens, I need the new contenders to come to me right now and pay their entry fees.
Okay.
All right. So Amala, that would be Amala, Vincent, and Basha.
Yes.
You make your way up to the bar. The crowd actually like makes a hole for you as you walk through. Emilio kind of sits down at the edge of the bar, feet kind of dangling. Goes, hello, my beautiful fighters. Yes, I am Emilio. I am Vasily's partner. But even better, I announce the fights and take the bets. So, what I need from you is I need your entry fees and then a little bit of information. So, which one of you is Basha?
Basha raises a hand.
All right. I need 55 gold pieces from you for your entry.
Slides over the gold.
Excellent. All right. So, Basha, I just need a little bit. How would like I announce the fights. I announce the fighters before they fight. So I need from you what are you part of a group? What's the group name? Where do you hail from? How would you like to be announced?
Do we have a group name? I'm looking at everyone behind me. We never came up with a group name?
Got an idea for that, but
well, that's not that
okay,
important.
Well, all right.
How would you like to be announced in the fight?
Basha Bars from Neverwinter. I'm the wizard from the Wizard
Boo!
College.
She wants to be announced as the Bewitching Basha.
Oh, actually, that's way better. That's way better.
I like that. That's got a lot of flair to it. I like it. The Bewitching Basha. All right.
Cloak billows dramatically. No, it's fine. No.
All right. From Neverwinter, you said?
Yes.
All right. All right. Excellent. Thank you. You just head down that way and he points over, and you can actually see on the floor there seems to be some kind of trap door that is open, and there are stairs going down the stairs. So if you just head down the stairs, the fighters get to go down first, and then everybody has to pay their entry.
Before she goes down, I'm going to emboldening bond the three of them.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. So, which one of you is Vincent?
That would be me.
Ah, my dear boy. 260 gold pieces, please.
I take out the pile of coins that was handed to me, and it's still all mixed up. It's not counted properly. It is 260 gold, but it's a weird mix of platinum, gold, and silver, all just in the same bag.
Kind of opens it up, looks at it, and goes, "Oh, all right. All right, Vincent, how would you like to be announced in the fight?"
Vincent Hellgrave.
Ooh, dramatic name. I like it.
Thank you. I thought of it when I was 14.
Where do you hail from? Is that something you would like announced, or?
I don't hail from anywhere.
Ah, understand. All right, very well. You could head down now as well.
All right.
That would mean that you are Amala. You are fighting the champion.
Yes, I'm quite excited.
All right. For you, that would be also 260 gold.
Amala hands over a small bag with the coins in it.
All right. And how would you like to be announced?
Amala Alaros, champion of Bahamut.
Oh, very, very nice. I like it. Champion of Bahamut. Anything else? Where do you hail from? Is that something you like?
I hail from Silvery Moon.
Silvery Moon. Interesting. Whoa. That's not what I want to happen. From Silvery Moon. Right. This should be a very, very interesting fight, I must say. All right, so you may head down, please.
Thank you.
You begin to head down, and as the three of you are heading down these stairs, which seem to be very, very lengthy as you're walking down, it is lit by bright torches. You can hear as you're heading down. All right, the rest of you vagabonds, you want in the fight? You want to see some fun, some entertainment, some bloodshed? I need your 5 silver for entry fee, and then we can have some fun. And everybody starts to kind of line up by the area, and they wait for Emilio to kind of jump down from the bar, walks over and holds open a pouch, and people start throwing the 5 silver into the pouch.
All right, yeah, I'll throw mine in, and I try to be one of the first ones in there so I get a good seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I ride Teague in there, and I throw 10 silver in. Where do I do betting?
He said, "Who? Oh, this is your creature. Very interesting. Very interesting. As soon as everyone is situated, I'll be calling out when we're taking the bet.
So still give him the full 10 because
Okay.
He's a creature.
No worries. And as you all begin walking down, it is pretty. I mean, you're going down, and you're walking down these stairs for a good minute. And you're going 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet. You hit about the 250-foot mark, and the stairs begin to open up and end in this massive, massive room. This room actually seems to be larger than the bar above. But interestingly enough, it is lined in wood. It actually seems to also be a bar. You can smell the smells of stale ales and beers. There's also a hint of blood. And as you are kind of coming down, you see an actual bar. As you're coming down to the right, Vasily is already behind that bar. There's actually a smell of food, kind of like beginning to permeate the air. There are a number of round tables with chairs, and people are starting to kind of move towards the table to kind of get a view. The bar itself has the bar stools around it. And in the center of this room is this massive sand pit. It is about maybe 10 feet down, and then just filled with sand. There are some dried specks of blood still in the sand, and around the actual pit are some long benches. Nobody's sat at the benches yet, but people are starting to kind of fill in and kind of move down. I'm actually going to put the map up so you can see what this room looks like. And it is massive. The sand pit itself seems to actually take up the majority of this area. And you can see that the ceilings above are stone. They seem to be carved stone, probably about 30 feet high. People are starting to fill in. There are some folks that you do recognize. There are a number of folks that you do not recognize, but most of them seem to be under Onthar's, either under Onthar's command or just folks that have been. Onthar's already down there. He's sitting by the bar. He's got one of the stools, and he's just kind of standing there as people are filling in. And as you kind of enter, Vasily's just kind of like waving to all of you. And you can place yourself any place that you like, that you think you want to sit. There are a number of rooms that you don't have access to, that you can't see into at the moment. But for the most part, you can see 2 fireplaces, one on either side of the entrance. And this room is extremely well lit. There are magic torches all over this area that are lighting this up very brightly.
Are we directed anywhere in particular when we come down as the fighters, or no, we're just allowed to go wherever?
No, the fighters, as you walk in, you're just allowed to go wherever. You were just allowed to go down first.
Go to the bar and get a drink beforehand?
Froome will definitely wave at you guys as he sees your troop coming down. He has a big flagon already, and a pile of the other, Order of the Gauntlet are hanging out with him.
Yeah, and Vasily is just already slinging drinks. And there is the smell of food. It seems to be coming from a room next to the bar. You would assume that that's probably the kitchen area.
I'd like to walk up to the person who's running the fight and ask them a question.
Okay, so Emilio is kind of stationed right next to the actual pit. There's stairs that are leading down into the depression of the pit. As you approach, he's like, "Oh yes, Vincent. Yes. What can I do for you?"
Just checking one more time, just to be certain. This is it's not martial duels of only swords and no supernatural abilities. This is a no holds bars situation, right?
You fight with whatever you bring with yourself into the pit.
Fantastic. And how deep is this pit? Like, let's say if there was an explosion of some sort.
Oh, we'll go over the rule. We'll go over the rules, but it's about 10, 15 feet down.
Ah, perfect.
All right. Well, just prepare yourself. However you prepare yourself. I will be. Speaking of which, excuse me. Runs over, jumps onto one of the benches. All right, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else. Time for bets. Who wants to make bets? And lots of people begin running over. He lets your group kind of come up to him first. You seem very interested in making bets first, so we'll gotta go that way. You watch as he puts on these spectacles. That the actual glass of the spectacles are the same color as his hair and mustache. They're kind of like this pinkish, purplish look to it. And he starts looking Vincent up and down. He begins looking Amala up and down. And then he begins looking at Basha up and down. And then he starts making some quick notes. And so he goes, all right. So we have the first fight coming up is going to be the Basha Awit fight. So we're doing, depending on who you're betting on. So if, let's see, that's going to be the odds on that fight. What kind of bets, what bet are you looking for, young Mr. Frog Pest?
My name's Corporal. I'm gonna bet 100 gold on each of the fighters who entered, not your house fighters.
Oh, bold move, my good man. All right, so let's see. So 100 gold on Basha, 100 on Vincent, and 100 on Im. All right, so all right, excellent. The odds on Basha, looking to be 3-1 odds. Alwood, he's kind of like the warm-up fight. So, Vincent, he kind of looks Vincent up and down again. We're looking at 5-1 odds. Amala, he kind of looks at Amala again and goes, I don't know. I don't think she knows what she's in for. We're looking at 10-1 odds on that.
I nod.
You're not there. Oh, maybe you are. I don't know.
I've been to Port Nyaruzu. I know how these pit fight works. I just nod. I'm like, all right, this ain't my first rodeo. Then I kind of let whoever else wants to bet.
Yeah. Anybody else want to bet?
Drovar's kind of been listening to all of this and just sort of. So he'll lean in and go, all right, let's see what I got here. I thought there'd be more stuff in that magic shop, and there wasn't. He leans down to the. Well, he doesn't really have to too much for the gnome. Yeah. He's not that much taller. He's like, I'll do 200 on each of them. What the hell?
Oh, bold moves there. Bold.
Yeah, worth a shot. Yeah.
All right, so 200 gold. Right. And your name?
Drovar.
Okay, 200 on each. Lots of confidence in your friends. I see. You're a good friend. You're a very good friend. All right.
I kind of looked at Drovar. I'm like, well, as long as Basha wins, we at least break even. So whatever.
Wow.
Damn.
Really neat spread.
That's
All right.
yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Anybody else?
Broom is gonna come down and kind of part through the crowd and go up to the gnome and be like, listen, if anyone here's betting against Bahamut, you're an idiot. And I'll put 50 down on Amala.
All right, Master Froome, give 50 gold pieces on Amala.
Yeah,
Nice.
and while Froome hasn't talked to Amala kind of like deeply, he kind of gives you a wink and a nod of like, I know what's up.
Right, excellent. All right, good to know. Good to know. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. Taking bets, and kind of starts walking into the crowd and begins to take more bets. And at this point in time, you have some time to kind of like walk through the crowd or go into do whatever you'd like to do. It seems like you got some time before the fight actually starts.
Sasha's definitely gonna take a shot. She's gonna get a shot at the bar.
Okay.
You guys see Amala like sitting on one of the benches next to the pit, and you just hear her muttering in Draconic. You know that she is praying, as she often does.
I'm gonna head over to Amala.
Okay.
So, hey, I'm gonna be your coach a little bit.
Okay.
I'm here to help you. So, you sacrifice defense to use a big sword, and that's great. But is that going to be the best situation in this coming one-on-one fight?
I was planning on using sword and shield.
Okay. Do you have a magical sword?
It doesn't look like it's magical, I don't believe.
Okay, so from his back sheath, he goes, "This was wielded by Bocek, and he would love a fighting pit. I think, why don't you use it? Take it for a spin."
All right, I will wield it in Bocek's name during this fight.
And I will pass you Talon. It's a +1 longsword.
Very cool.
Oh, Talon is...
It's the greatest sword ever created.
It's the greatest sword.
It has a history. Ever. It has a legacy.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else anybody wants to do before we kind of like move into the actual fight?
Drovar will do the shot with Basha.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll be
all right. And interestingly enough, Vasily he's just slinging drinks and not taking payment from people.
Oh.
You ask for a drink and he's just kind of putting them out for people.
He's getting all the money from the bets.
Yeah.
Anything from Bahamut, Chris?
Make a wisdom check for it.
Take a dive. What?
It is no 16.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. No.
Put him in a body bag.
All right,
give him the chair.
As soon as she says sweep the leg, I'm out of here. Bye.
So as you're kind of sitting there praying to Bahamut, you feel the connection. And you feel like kind of like a surge of empowerment. A surge basically that you feel those feelings of you can do this. And it's just no words, it's more of a feeling. But there's something behind it, and you're not sure, but it feels like a chuckle.
And a slight kick his ass.
But that's kind of what you get from your prayer.
Chris, how long before the fight start?
It looks like it's going to start in a few minutes.
A few minutes? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of come down to where Amala, Basha, and Vincent are. I'm like, so you three are fighting, yeah?
Yes.
That would be correct.
Yes.
Well, while these aren't sanctioned fights in the proper, not something I can participate in, I still hope that you compose yourself with honor, and just remember, Eltergard, your reputation here it's gonna start here. Just because, I took you in, that's the people know that you're associated with me, says something, this is gonna say a whole lot more. So just keep that in mind, that however you compose yourself, it might follow you, but after having talked with you and met with you, I'm confident that each of you will compose yourselves well.
I'm going to explode the ring.
That is a viable tactic. I've seen it done many times. So go with Torm, go with honor, and give him a goddamn good show. And Basha, Amara, and Vincent, you guys can all have 18 temporary hit points from Inspiring Leader.
Yeah.
Also, when I pass Talon to her, I make sure to coat it in poison. Because I don't understand why these people are fucking not covered in poison.
Am I aware of that?
Well, I rub it against myself as I pass you the blade, and I did do this to you when you fought the dragon champion.
Yeah, so you are aware of what it does.
And then, I'm sorry, when I hit it, it's the first time that I hit.
First
correct?
strike, they make a DC 12 con save, and if they fail, they take 2d4 poison. If not, it doesn't do anything. It's not very impressive, but Corporal likes hedging bets.
Yeah.
You said 2d4 con save? Okay.
It's a D12. It's a DC 12 2d4 poison. It's only if they fail.
Yeah, only if they fail. All right. Anything else anybody wants to do before everything kicks off?
I'm mentally sorry.
Yeah, right before they enter the ring, I would like to heroism every fighter as they go in.
Okay.
And I'm also emboldening Bond because it lasts 10 minutes.
All right. So at this point in time, it looks like Emilio has finished taking bets. They kind of jump up on the one of the benches again, and they're just like they kind of look down, and they have like these interesting buttons on the vest that they're wearing, and just kind of taps one of the buttons, and immediately you hear his voice echoing throughout the area. All right, my friends, welcome to Vasily's Fights. You then hear the whole, everybody's just like,
Woo! Yay!
all right, so we have some new fighters who are taking on some of our favorite challengers, our favorite champions. So, just for the edification for those who've not been here before, let's go over the house rules. House rules for this fight: whatever you take into the ring with you is whatever you can use. No holds barred, but we do have plenty of clerics and healers on hand because you all know this can get a little messy. You hear like a bunch of people laughing and chuckling as this. All right. The other next rule, as I said, you can do whatever you like, but if you destroy anything outside of the pit, Vasily's going to be pissed, and you will automatically be disqualified from the fight. That includes anything above or around. Because one, we don't want anyone who's not fighting to get hurt. But we also want to make sure that we can make these fights continue to happen. And, the tavern above stays above. I mean, we all know that it's not illegal to do this. It's just kind of slightly frowned upon. Everybody begins kind of chuckling and laughing as he says this. So without further ado, let's get fighting! And the crowd just kind of gets whipped up into a frenzy. And that's where we're going to end it for the
Oh good, I have time to write my WWE speech that I was starting to
Nice.
write.
Also, prepare for your first rounds to be full of cheating because they said that you could bring anything that you come in the ring with.
Oh yeah, I'm
So-
gonna bring the bar stool.
I was gonna bring a bar stool and I was just gonna sit on
Damn
it.
it! Oh, okay.
I was just gonna heroism and sanctuary you as you step into the ring because it's
Yeah,
what you bring into the ring.
exactly.
All right. So yeah, that was great. I wish we could have gotten to the fight sooner, but I know if we would have started, we'd be here very, very late. So definitely, we'll kick this fight off. That's going to be the very first thing we do next session next week. Man, that was a lot of fun. You guys got some good stuff, some interesting stuff, and we'll take it from there when we come back. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to my amazing players for an amazing session. Thank you to all of you who have been watching. Got a lot of love this evening. S. Jane Winchester, Aramala, thank you so much for resubscribing for 6 months. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Mama Shady gifting a tier 1 sub to Sensei Suplex. For those who don't know, Sensei Suplex does D&D as well. They have an exciting project actually coming up called Project Aurora, where they are actually running with multiple games with multiple DMs, where these games are actually interconnected with each other. So that they're doing something. So if you're interested in something along those lines, you definitely want to give Sensei Suplex a follow and check them out. And also want to thank Cryo75 for following the channel. We appreciate your follow. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed what you saw. And thank you to everyone who has been supporting us. We definitely appreciate and love you for it. As we end, we always do try to send off to another. We raid off to another streamer, someone who has supported us in the past, but is also deserving of support as well. So if you're so inclined, give them a follow. If you're not following them, say hello in chat if that's your thing. Lurking is absolutely fine, because let's face it, just watching what we do is support enough, and we love you for it. So remember, please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to others. We love you very much. We'll see you next time.